Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Upgrade your membership to Gold. You will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Kengan. Kenny Kengan wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Kengan, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is where comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Billy Friedrich. Jones one all coming down the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the Corporal Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a dawn. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio is all. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, baby with the bag and you love it. We want it top 10, we above it. Let's check.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, January 24th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. I have a very good feeling about today. I feel like yesterday I felt very good about the capping, and then I made some moves late. So I'm just locking in the Stacks play today, number 2, the Purdue over in the under the game. So I'll see it right before we talk about it. Made some late additions that hurt me, messed with totals that hurt me. There was a lot of good things that went down. Bad things, the look on the Wizards was wrong. The Heat, I mean, if it could have been bet different. I mean, it was 15-2 to open. I mean, there was some strength around the cap 15-2 Heat lead. I could have just taken the Heat first quarter. But I feel like I decided with the 2 spots I was most confident in, the Oilers and the Knights, to instead of adding the first period minus a half, to sit back ready to fire in case they went down like I did with the Devils and, doubled up, more than doubled up because I got plus 115. Of course, they just dominated both hockey games. Well, I mean, the Knights didn't really dominate the Blues, but I never had a chance to get in live. So I'm ready to attack. I'm so ready to attack. And just a sign, I tell you this, a sign of how much energy and care it goes into this show. Our producer, Jose Bouquet, landed in Las Vegas, 2-3 hours ago. Landed at dawn, and he's in the sports book right now producing this show. Just a sign of the care. Look at him right there, Jose.
Come on. I didn't bring my mic, so we sound like shit, but we're here, and we have the Temptations playing in the background. How can we not have a good day?
I love it, buddy. What time did you land?
About like an hour ago. Yeah, about like an hour ago, 7 a.m. this time. Yeah, these shows start early as fuck on the West Coast or whatever the fuck. God damn. Shout out to the cappers that wake up early every day and watch this program. I am exhausted. I have my bag of goodie bags, and I've got a pocket full of money ready to make some bets.
I love it, Jose. I love the care. This means so much to me, truly. I'm telling you, we're gonna have a monster day today, and it's because of cappers like Jose that care so much that they show up in Vegas at 6:30 in the morning and come right to produce the show. I love this, Jose. I really love this. You're going to inspire. I really, really love how much you care, man. Mr. Belvedere says you need a cocktail in your hand. You are allowed to drink at this time.
Yes, that is factual statement. However, I'd like to have a clear, clairvoyant is the word I was looking for, mind to bet this college basketball because the NBA is the devil.
I don't think so, man. The NBA is glorious. You just got to find the spots to attack. I mean, the Lakers were a 5 for a reason.
Yeah, that was the easiest bet ever. That was the fishiest line in the world, and that was so easy.
So easy. I love it. I think it's so dope. So truly, truly shout out to Jose. Now, Jose, jump on any time. I love your energy. I love that you're producing this show at dawn here after getting off the plane. So we want more.
Yeah, and I'm going to be with one of our guests tomorrow as well. So it'll be very fun. It'll be very fun.
That's dope, man. Absolutely dope. It's so cool seeing you there. So your action is extremely important to all of us. We want you to have I know that you had a monster week that got curtailed here last couple of days. But that is no reflection on this weekend at all. This is a brand new, clean slate. It doesn't matter if you are hot or cold. It matters that you are in Vegas. And that pocket full of cash must grow by the time you're on that airplane going home. You must not go to a show of any kind. You must not go to one club of any kind. You must not go out for any nice dinners. You eat California sandwiches and you get that fucking money. All right?
There's the Canes right beside BetMGM, and that Cane's going to have my first name written down there.
Yeah, I have no idea what the hell that is.
Oh, my God.
That's delicious. All right. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Wine Time Sports in the house. Mally Mal, Slow Jams Arsenal. LJ from H-Town. Trill OG play today. Memphis first half, -6.5. Here's another sign of how much care goes into the show. Morgan Spooner, he wants to be on. He wants to start capping on camera. So he's running home from work at lunchtime, turning his camera on. He's got 2 best bets for us. LJ from H-Town. Getting the work off. He's looking at his schedule 2 weeks from now. He's making sure that he gets Friday off. He's already booked it with me. And Friday, I think it's Friday, February 14th. LJ is going to be back capping NBA here on camera because he cares so much. This means so much to me. This stuff means so much to me. Slow Jams Arsenal, boxing first vlog, Swiggy in the house, Nicholas Handy. A great. And there's Morgan Spooner in the house right there. Justin McKelvey, I've copied and pasted the Stacks plays of the day. We'll be talking all about it. Kong's Clip says Milwaukee Bucks plan to be active at the trade line, shopping Middleton, Connaughton, and Bobby Portis. How do you get rid of Bobby Portis? I agree. But we don't know what happens in the locker room, obviously, but I think he's a quality player. Slow Jams, Arsenal moving on. Bowling Green plus 2.5. Every single college basketball will be capped today, college basketball game, which is not too hard on 13-game slate. C-Mac's going to be the anchor. We're going to have Spoondog with his 2 best bets, and then we'll have Wine Time at the end with his 2 best bets that roll into NBA. Also, I was thinking with the NFL kind of gone, I'm going to start betting NBA on the weekends now. I'm going to start moving on NBA. I've been kind of being very passive here. I'm going to start moving on NBA on the weekends here. I'm enjoying the cap very, very much. Serious business in the house. Nutflush Allen. Excellent job by Nutflush yesterday with his team totals in the NHL. Gravy Bets. Lynn Belvedere. Nathan Bear. Bomb.com. It is a great group. Gerald Jones. Christopher Carter. Sammy Culmer. What a great group. Now, Slatsy, Slatsy's saying, you called the wild game perfectly. It doesn't count if you don't bet it. I mean, I was trying to get you guys off of the Wild, but I didn't have the balls to bet the Utah Hockey Club. So, but again, we just have to, file that away. Just never in NBA and NHL, just never, ever. We saw it in NBA with Wagner. Never, ever bet a game when the star player returns. Just it's the team they're playing or no bet. And if you always bet against the star player came back, your ROI in the end is going to be great. It's just hard to have the balls to hammer some of those spots. Sportsman of the Year, Lucky Lefty, ready to go, ready to rock. Mike Wilkerson, ready to go. Great to see all of you guys. Christopher Carter says, good weekend for Daniel's interception bet. Daniels, Mahomes, Allen, interceptions 2 of the 3 will hit. Profit for all 3. Puddin 586, Philly Eagle Flyer. Great to see all of you guys. Let's get to work right now. Looking forward to cap this NHL card with you guys. If I had to just left it with my 5 bets that I came here in the show, or added the first periods on the Oilers and the Knights, I'd be in the black on the season. But I did not do that. Oilers -1 was an easy casher. Senators -1 lost. I was quite confident in that spot. Knights -1 casher. Now, it wasn't, they needed an empty net goal to get it. Ducks +128. If you ever see the Pittsburgh Penguins as a favorite on the road, or as a favorite after they've won a hockey game, we went over that, so those stats, fade them. But here comes the losers. Kraken +120. The Capitals get me again. Philadelphia, New York Rangers under 6. Not only are the Rangers bet on, but Shesty is playing like the Vezina Trophy winner again. So you can either bet on the Rangers or bet the opposition team total under. That will work really well when the Rangers aren't favorites, but they're playing good hockey right now. Nashville, San Jose under 6 was a debacle. Askarov failed me. And the Sabres money line looked 2-2 in the third period. Didn't take care of business there. All right, let's roll here in the National Hockey League. I've moved on 3 of these 4 games, and I feel very good about the situation. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we start with the Philadelphia Flyers at these New York Islanders. Islanders 9-11-2 are at UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. Ivan Fedotov in net, 4-5-3, 3.26 goals against average, 879 save percentage, no shutouts. Look, I'm going to stick with my idea that he is an NHL quality goaltender. Now, he's 6'8". We haven't had goaltenders that big shine in the NHL. He's allowed 8 goals over his last 3 games. 1 was in overtime. So, I don't know how much. So really 7 because it was 3-on-3. He also went through a full overtime without allowing a goal. While his goals against average, is like 2.56 or something like that over those 3 games, his save percentage is still not very good. If anybody wants to fade Fedotov, I can understand it. I still believe in him. Sorokin 14-14-4, 2.81 goals against average, 902 save percentage, 2 shutouts. historically for me, when two Russian goaltenders play each other, they tend to step up. That's more so when you're going up against Vasilevsky or Shesterkin, because the Russian across the rink in goal from them is generally growing up, watching these guys. So Sorokin, Fedotov, I mean, I don't know if it has the same thing going on. Philadelphia power play 16.1%, penalty killing 77.4%. The New York Islanders power play is 12.5%. And we have the worst power play in the National Hockey League that's now missing Noah Dobson. If you thought this power play was bad before, watch it now. They may have to move Barzal to the point. And in that case, they're going to allow shorthanded goals. It's a real tricky situation for Patrick Waugh, but it's his fault. Their penalty killing is also a disaster at 67.7%. Browns Hughes, curious where I'm at in the NHL futures market. I'll pull that up. I've got that. I'll pull that up here in a second. So we'll go over that. I'd be interested kind of looking at it all. I mean, I look at it every week, but I'll take a look at it here where I stand. So let's roll here. I have bet this game. And I'll explain it here in a second. The Flyers right now are plus 131. They opened up at plus 130, now plus 130. Opened up at plus 134. A slight move towards the Philadelphia Flyers. I thought for a long time about backing them full game, and I decided not to. This total's at 5.5. It's minus 118 to the over. It opened up minus 115 to the over. It's the right line. That's the right line. We got Gravy Bets coming in with important information here for that first college basketball game. Thank you, Gravy, my man. Let's get that copied and pasted so we can discuss that. Okay, and also very important news. Jacob Markstrom out 4 to 6 weeks for the Devils. Jake Allen should start versus Montreal tomorrow. That's got to be Montreal. It doesn't have to be Montreal, but we'll get to that in due time. So the Flyers coming off the second half of back-to-back. They just lost 6-1 last night at Madison Square Garden. They opened the scoring and then were hit with 6 goals unanswered. They were outshot 37-34 by the Rangers. I mean, they got a lot of shots. Shesterkin's just playing brilliantly. This is a Flyers team that had won 5 of their last 6. I like this team a lot. It's a good young hockey team, undervalued by the marketplace. Travis Konechny is showing that he could be 100, that he probably will have a triple-digit season at some point in his career. He's on pace for 92 points this year. He's played every single game thus far. We know that no team in the NHL has more first-round picks in their lineup. They have homegrown talent. So look at Konechny, the 2015 first-round pick. You have the 2014 first-round pick, and Travis Sanheim, who's stepping up in a huge way. Now, he was awful last night. This Sanheim's playing 24 minutes and 35 seconds a game. He's proven that he's the number one defenseman. Ristolainen's up for grabs. If anybody wants Ristolainen, the Flyers want to get, trade him and get that contract off their books. Sanheim was on for 4 Rangers goals against, and he's angry. The team is angry. As much as I don't like Tortorella, and I don't really like how he motivates his troops, I do think that he's going to have these guys ready to go at the drop of the puck. Now, the problem is the Islanders are in a real cushy spot, which means that the same thing could happen as they did against Columbus on Monday. They were down 1-0 after the first. They stormed back in the second, completely took the game over. I was on the Islanders, and the whole world was on the Jackets, and the Islanders are in that cushy, rested spot. Dominic Merrow says, if only the Flyers had a goalie. That is absolutely true. That goalie's up on charges here in London, Ontario, not far from here, and will never be in the NHL again. But that's not fair for me to say, never be in the NHL again. I don't know the outcome of the case, but it certainly looks gloomy for the young man. So they're a well-rested Islander group. This is the 5th game of a 7-game homestand. Matthew Barzal had a slow start after returning from injury. He's looked much better of late. 11 points over his last 9 games, and he's also a plus 10 over that stretch. I'm on the Philadelphia Flyers first period at plus 120. I've done pretty well with the Flyers. They're not a team that's hurt me. I've got a positive ROI. But if I only bet them first period in all those spots, my ROI would be through the roof. Flyers first period money line. So if it's a tie, it's a push. I'm not going for the huge score. And I'm on the Philadelphia Flyers on the first period at plus 120. Let's roll on. We roll on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Vegas Golden Knights 29-14-4, 11-8-3 on the road at the Dallas Stars 29-17-1, 17-7-1 at home at American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Now, our friend Ron Crawford and myself, we have the corner of Crawford and Bag Boulevard. The problem is that there's been a real big move towards the Stars. Now, I almost didn't make the bet, but I was pretty sure that Oettinger was going to be in the starting here. I was pretty sure he was going to be starting. Oh, Fat Wally Pegasus on Saturday, man. We're pumped up. Razor Sharp Picks will be live. Racing with Razor for Saturday. It's a big day.
I'd hate to have some horse action this week. I just hate it. I'd hate it.
I will. It looks like I'll only be able to do the 4 races leading up to the Pegasus. That's the situation because it is Chinese New Year. So
yeah, of course.
I'll have those for you though. I'll send you those.
And by the way, Jimmy, the MGM, a respectable place. They obviously have a race book here for you. I mean,
of course.
They would not have one. Your money wouldn't be spent here.
You know, the last time I was at MGM Grand, we were at the poker room. We took them for a lot of money.
I'm looking at it right now.
I went. It's not a nice one. I don't know if it's been renovated. I went and cashed out, and I was watching Reichert. And Reichert, I was sending him vodka sodas. He's not a big drinker. I was just sending, and he was up. He had to be up. He's probably at 1.5K or so. We were just, but he was doing it really cocky. He was doing it really cocky at the table. So then he got up with his 1.5K, and he's not a drinker, right? And I must have sent him 9 vodka sodas. He starts wobbling back, $1,500 of chips in the air, flying all over the place. And I laughed for 5 minutes. Didn't help pick him up. Just laughed. I couldn't stop laughing. It's one of the hardest I laughed in Vegas. And they hated him so much. Here's this drunken asshole taking them for 1.5K. But I got yes, I will get you the horse action here. And stick with me here. We're talking Vegas Golden Knights, so stick with me for this breakdown. So we have Ron Crawford on the Dallas Stars. That is the spreadsheet play of the day. Shout out to our friend Ron Crawford here, and I'm with him. Now I'm on the -1 line while Ron is on the money line, but there is some concerns. But shout out to Ron Crawford. Okay, Slatzy saying Oettinger confirmed. And you have to ask yourself, is there a reason? Is there a reason why this line's moving away from us? And I don't have that reason, but it certainly makes me uncomfortable. I mean, it just makes me so uncomfortable. Let's go over the line history here right now. Now, if they said, because it didn't make sense that Casey DeSmith would be in, and I've kind of sketched out his schedule over the next little while. This total opened up at 6. It dropped to 5.5. It's back to 6. The money line here for this one, Dallas down to -134. They opened up -145. So there was a 14-cent move at 9:37 a.m. towards Vegas, and it made me uncomfortable. My action's in, my bet's in. I'm not getting off of it, but it made me uncomfortable. So, yes, Nasty Nate, kind of like that. That
is exactly what I pictured.
I have no recollection of that whatsoever, though, Nasty Nate. I have no recollection. Let's talk about the spot. Adin Hill against Jake Oettinger. Thank God Oettinger is confirmed, but this line move is very uncomfortable. Adin Hill 18-8-3, 2.61 goals against average, 901 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Oettinger 23-11-1, 2.26 goals against average, 914 save percentage, 1 shutout. Vegas power play 27.4%, penalty killing at 77.5%. Dallas power play is being disappointing at 18.5%, penalty killing at 85.8%. Vegas on the second half of back-to-back, they come in off a 4-2 win at St. Louis last night to snap a 4-game losing streak. We were on them. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with this hockey team, because they didn't make that look very easy either. Their bottom 6 forwards are the problem. They're just not as good as they have been in the past. They don't seem to have as many defensively capable forwards as we've seen in prior incarnations of this team. The Stars coming off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 2-1 at home to the Hurricanes on Tuesday. This is the first of a back-to-back. They play at St. Louis tomorrow night. So these guys are, which really helps with the capping. I know the Stars are going to be monsters. They're going to have so much money to spend at the deadline because of the whole Tyler Seguin situation. He's going to be good to go for the playoffs. Mason Marchment is also out. And I think the problem, and I know he's a real quality player, but the problem is Rupee Hintz, and they're trying to fix it. You can't, if you're going to be the first line center and have Jason Robertson on your wing, you have to be a distributor with peripheral vision. It seems like he's not that player. He has 8 assists in 43 games. That's just not acceptable for the skill set of the wingers around him. So they've moved him back to the third line center. Since he's been back around the third line center, they're better. They're already a deep team. They're even more deep. I'm on the Stars -1. This would be a fun game for you to have action on tonight. You know, you're in Las Vegas. There's going to be a ton of people interested in the game. I would keep it real.
Yeah, I was interested. I was interested in the Knights.
Oh, yeah, with the market move towards them.
Yes, I was interested in the Knights. Admittedly, yeah. The market's moving towards them. I know you don't look at money percentages here. Semi-close money line, 69% of the bet, 60% of the money on the Stars. Line moving towards Vegas. It feels like I should be on Vegas, yes.
If you were capping this based on the market, I would agree. You know, for Dallas here, the fact that Ottinger is in net, because they could use DeSmith, right? This is the first of a back-to-back. They're saying we want this game. We want to beat Vegas. Vegas is their bigger rival, you know, even though the Stars are a divisional rival. So this is Nutflush has lots of travel for Vegas last 2 weeks. I agree. You know, I agree. Look, I'm on the Stars -1, but this line move has made me uncomfortable. It's made me uncomfortable. But I've moved on. Philly Eagle Flyer parlayed the under 6.5, probably under 6.5 in regulation. I have no idea what that means. Textiles. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what that means, man. Sorry. I'm 45. If you're going to talk about like children's TV shows, I don't know.
I'm glad that you at least know that's a TV show. That's progress.
Yeah, because Ella and Carter, my 7-year-old and 3-year-old.
Kids really love Squid Games, you know?
I have no idea what that means. I don't know what that means.
You would like the show. Your family would like the show, but whatever.
Well, I can promise you I'll watch it 0 times. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Tampa Bay Lightning 25-18-3, 10-12-2 on the road. Chicago Blackhawks 15-28-4, 10-13-1 at home at United Center in Chicago, Illinois. And check it out, Joe Walsh in the house. So what up, boys? Birthday, took the day off work just to listen to the show. We need birthday picks for our guy Joe Walsh. Hopefully Joe can win the $50. I think we go Greyhounds today. Let's go Greyhounds, $50 Greyhound race.
Let's just pray we can get that horse race or Greyhound race off the tracks here with the Wi-Fi we're dealing with.
Okay, no problem. If we can't, it's okay. We'll just do $100 on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm using my hotspot right now. I'm surprised that it's been working as well as it has been, honestly.
Yeah, you know, that would it'd be fine because then we'd still be 50 in arrears, so we could still do a full week because we should only be we're only supposed to do Thursday, Friday still. So, but we owed the 50, so that would work. That would work. Yeah, Dave, I have no idea.
It's definitely not. If people dying all the time, but it's a great show. Jimmy's not going to watch it though.
No, zero chance. Let's get into Lightning Blackhawks here for this one. Tampa Bay Lightning 25-18-3, 10-12-2 on the road. The Chicago Blackhawks 15-28-4, 10-13-1 at home at United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Andrei Vasilevsky playing well, 20-14-2, 2.37 goals against average, 915 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Philly Eagle Flyer on the Lightning team total over 3.5. Mrazek looks like the old Peter Mrazek. It looks like a goalie who won't be in the NHL next year, which is how I think of Mrazek. I know he looked very good better last year and looked pretty good to start the year. Tampa Bay power play 26.7%, penalty killing 81.2%. Chicago power play 23.9%, 83% penalty killing. Wait till they put a forward with size, a sniper with size alongside Bedard. I mean, Teravainen is he's so easy to knock off the puck. He's not I know he's got skill, and this team that can't put any skill around Bedard. I think Bertuzzi might be the right guy, but you have to have a real skilled player with Bedard because Bertuzzi is just going to stand in front of the net and hope his teeth don't get knocked out. The Lightning coming off their second straight loss, 3-2 at Montreal on Tuesday. This is game 3 of a 4-game trip. This is also the first of a back-to-back. They play Detroit tomorrow. And that's important because that means Jonas Johansson will be playing one of these games. Shout out to Kong's Clips gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Our guy Kong in the house. What a guy he is. How lucky are we that we get to rock with our guy Kong's Clips? So, like Dallas going with Ottinger tonight, saying that this game is important to them. It's the same with the Lightning. Now, Andrew G says Lightning smash and grab. Bet this guy says Pete Carroll to the Raiders. I can't believe that's confirmed. That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, my sources here also tell me that as well.
Wow, that's exciting. Slatsy says first period over straight, 10 straight for the Hawks. He's on first period over 1.5. There's Troy Torrance in the house. So I think the Lightning are a very good hockey team. Kucherov, we know what Kucherov, 22 goals, 48 assists, 70 points in 44 games played. He's also a plus 12. Brandon Hagel has taken the next step. He's phenomenal. 20 goals, 30 assists, 50 points in 46 games. He's a plus 12. He's got 20 goals, 0 on the power play. 18 5-on-5, 2 shorthanded. I mean, he's just a special player. Ryan McDonough was a great character pickup in the offseason. I still think they can win the Atlantic, and they're missing Eric Cernak, who's an important defenseman. He's day-to-day with no disclosed injury. So at what point, which game do you want the Lightning on the puck line? In all honesty, I would say that I would rather have the Lightning on the -1 line with Johansson in. I would like to wait until everybody's fading Johansson and then take the Lightning on the -1 line. Now, I wouldn't want to do that. That's against the Red Wings. I wouldn't want to do that here against the Blackhawks if they don't show out. I mean, the Blackhawks have lost 5 of their last 6, but they just lost 4-3 in overtime to the Hurricanes. This is also game 3 of a 4-game homestand. It's a real cushy spot. Now, they're missing Connor Murphy. Now, BJ says the Lightning, or the market likes the Lightning here. I mean, Lightning off a loss are smash and grab material. So I can understand that. But even last night, it had already gone to -220 for me. I couldn't get the -210. Even last night, I was like, am I really going to take them to cover the puck line here? And BJ, what happens here if they decide that we're going to go with Johansson tonight and we'll use Vasilevsky on Saturday? Then anybody who's on then it's going to move 30 cents in the opposite direction. So what do you think about this spot, Jose? Lightning, Blackhawks.
I'll mention quickly that BJ's right. I mean, obviously, there's a shitload of bets and money on the Lightning. But yeah, if I was you, I would just wait. Just sit and wait and see what the goalie's confirm. And if you, like you said, if you get a shitty goalie on the Lightning, you have a more better price to bet them here. So I agree with them. BJ, I'd also like to know your thoughts, obviously, on the market in the first game we talked about. The Vegas, well, not the first game, I guess, the Vegas game. But let us know.
David Redling with multiple units on the Bolts. I mean, Lightning off of a loss. Now you have them off 2 losses. It's an interesting spot. I did not want to be on the puck line here with the Blackhawks in such a cushy spot, but I can understand. And I'm with you, Northander, with favorites of this size. In the NHL, the only time you'll see a -200 or higher favorite, the line not move towards them, is when there's a goalie change. But and Action X says, do I trust the Lightning? I do. I do, but I don't. I do. I just to take them on the puck line here at a +105 or a +110, I just didn't feel like it was enough here. Now, if the Blackhawks score first, getting live on the Lightning or something of that nature, this is the one game I'm not on. Let's get into the final spot here on the board. We have CMAC next. I'll let CMAC know we have the 5-minute warning here. And let's get to work, because I have moved confidently in the next one. And so talk about what spots are you the most confident on. When Utah was up 3-0, I immediately took the Jets on the -1 line. Now, it's a tricky thing because the sharpest offshore that I believe, they don't put their lines out until after a team is played. They're very cautious. They claim they don't kick out winners. We've heard that they do limit some of them, but they're a very cautious book. So when I know that offshore gives better lines than 365, I generally want to wait. But here I knew that I'm getting a -1 line. Look, I want -1 lines. I want to be able to push if they only win by a goal. I would prefer -1 lines. And I realized last night when I was deciding how to bet this that a -130 -1 line I'm comfortable with. And I would never bet a -130 money line. But a -1 line, I'm getting a big favorite. I'm more comfortable with the situation. And I moved on the Jets before it was open at other books. I got -200 on the money line and +130 on the puck line. Gave me a -130 line. And I really like it. I really like the Jets here. I mean, getting a chance to fade Utah off of, shutting out Minnesota Wild and feeling so good about themselves is a wonderful place. I told you guys, Connor Ingram is the second best goaltender on a 2-goalie roster on any team in the NHL. Utah power play 22.1%, penalty killing 81.8%. They're playing out of their minds right now with Mikhail Sergachev out. Now, we've seen this before. We saw this in the beginning, the first time that Austin Matthews was injured, and often when Matthews is injured, the first few games they play out of their minds, the Leafs, and then they come back to earth. Then you start seeing how he's not around. I think this will be the game where they will notice that Sergachev isn't out there, because no Sean Durzi, no Bortuzzo, you have no Dylan Guenther, and look, they're winning. Also, this is such an important thing here. If Utah plays this game tough, fade them on Sunday at Ottawa. The only way I'm not going to fade Utah on Sunday at Ottawa is if they lose this game 6-0 or like 5-0. Other than that, I'm going to be on Ottawa. If it's only -130 on Ottawa money line, I'll take the -1 for a big score. So there's two. So the Jets, yes, they're coming up 3-2 overtime victory at Colorado, but they were on a 2-game losing streak before that, and that one of those losses was 5-2 in Utah on Monday. You get the rematch within 5 days. I mean, it's a perfect. This is the Winnipeg Jets here against Utah. That's the best spot on the board. It's clearly the best spot on the board to me. Now, I also thought, well, do I make this a bigger bet? And I decided not to. And that's off of making the mistake of not making a bigger bet on Edmonton and Vegas last night. But I was like, I didn't want to just, hammer this big. I mean, I think it's the best bet on the board, but I didn't necessarily think it required more than one unit on it. So here we go. The Jets, Kyle Connor, for all of you Michigan hockey fans, the Red Wings better pull out the red carpet for this Michigan native in the offseason. You're never going to have a better chance at a superstar hockey player, in my estimation, than a Michigan native who doesn't want to play in New York and he doesn't want to play in LA. He's a small town kid. He wants to be in a comfortable situation. He's always dreamt of wearing a Red Wings jersey. Kyle Connor, 26 goals, 34 assists, 60 points in 49 games. There is a problem with Winnipeg. They're playing without Captain Adam Lowry. He's out with an upper body injury. It's a huge loss. It's a huge loss to their bottom six, huge loss to their penalty killing. He does everything. He's a phenomenal hockey player and tough. And every playoff team needs a guy like Adam Lowry, and the Jets have him. But I think the Jets -1's the best spot on the board. And if you look at this money line situation here, we've had the Jets, even when this, oh, wow, huge move back to Utah. Wow. Huge move 2 minutes ago. 16-cent move back to Utah. Now, with the 16-cent back to Utah, I still beat the line by 10 cents. And this wasn't a spot that I thought a Comrie might play, but we have a huge move. So an interesting market analysis here. We'll have to see how it plays out, but we've had big moves in the last, hour to both teams that are on the second half of a back-to-back, which, is what it is. Doesn't concern me too much, but has happened. So there you go. Joe Walsh says, yeah, if my Wings don't pick him up, I'm going to be pissed at Yzerman. Yeah, it's all signs, Joe, sound like the, that they're going to do everything they can to get him on the Wings next year. So at this point, I'm not sure what my birthday pick is because not every. But you know what I do know, Joe? I do know it's the Jets on the -1 line. It's the Jets on the -1 line. If you have a book, and now that it's moved 16 cents back, don't bet it right away because the other books will follow suit. They'll move it too. So take your time. But here is the -1 calculator for anybody who doesn't have it. The Jets on the -1 line is my favorite bet on the board. I don't like they're coming off the overtime victory over Colorado, but I love the fact that these teams just met. So here, let's get this here. This is the thanks to our friend Ron Crawford. This is the and Nikolai Eller's not on the ice. I don't think he would move it 15 cents, would he, Slatsy? But that would hurt them, but I'm fine with that. Here, I would wait, though. Anybody thinking about moving on the Jets should be patient with and let this 16-cent move come through the market. So, Jose, that's the NHL. Flyers first period at +120, Stars -1 at +111, and then I have the Jets -1 at -130. Have you figured out your plan for NHL this evening, or are you still working on it?
I don't think I'm going to move on it. The only thing I would move on was Vegas, but I don't want to be just going up against you there. So I will pass on that optional misery, and I'll focus on the basketball.
If this moves another 20 cents, I think I would just keep an eye on the market here. It'd be pretty indicative that Vegas is ready to go here. But I'll be in touch here.
I'm admittedly more interested in college basketball. I think the markets from college basketball are sharp, and there's a small amount of games, so we can talk about all of them. But our next guest is obviously college basketball demon as well, so I can't wait to hear the analysis.
We have just the man for the job. Joe Walsh has Bet Rivers -1, -148. Okay, that's not a birthday pick, so that's too expensive. So we'll figure out the Joe Walsh birthday pick. It might be using the Jets as a money line parlay piece. -148.
Flush said he had the -2 at +146 there. Shouts you, Flush.
Yeah, I get that. He goes for big scores and he cashes them. All right, Jose, my friend, jump in at any time. We have Jose live from the BetMGM, which is a friend of the channel, and we'll link up our.
I know I'm about to actually go open up account at BetMGM. I used our link. Now I'm going to go verify in person so they know that I'm the real deal and not just some bot. But I'm going to go sign up for an MGM account right now. Used our link, and we'll see how all that unfolds. If you guys are interested as well, I just popped it in the chat. Use it. Support Pub Sports Radio. And like Jimmy says, we don't make shit off of you guys losing. So we want you guys to murder the Bucks. Murder them.
Oh, that's dope. Jose coming to us live from BetMGM in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's time to get into college hoops, and we have just the man for the job. He'll be anchoring our Friday shows. We're going to have a couple best bets from Morgan Spooner about halfway through the 13-game card, and then Wine Time will have two best bets at the end of the 13-game card, but your next guest will be our anchor. He lost the Xavier +7.5 and the under 148.5 in the worst circumstances. They were the right side by far, and he lost them in overtime. Troy also lost that under, and I also lost on Xavier. And if he cashes those spots, it's a 4-unit flip to his record. But I know he's heating up. I'm watching him cap, and we're seeing him heat up. And this man, I promise you, will be in the black here shortly on our show. It is time to get to work. Joining us from Las Vegas, Nevada, not far away from where Jose Bouquet is right now, our guy, CMC Music Factory. Everybody cap now. Conor Mac in the house. C-Mac, how are you?
What up? Yeah, and hey, I'm still thinking of that basketball game. God.
I just, because I was messaging with Troy as this game was looking like it could go into overtime. And Troy was like, he said to me, he's like, I'd rather have the +7.5 than the under 149.5. And I was just, and I didn't know I hate when I get so negative right away. Like I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to lose, or oh, this is going to lose for sure. But every dog I have falls apart in overtime, and it's in my head, and I know, like, I'm waiting for it to happen. Of course, we lose that one by a half point. I mean, it's just as fucking irritating as one would ever imagine.
Sickening.
But
Sickening. And to score all those points, even in overtime, it's just the ref. That's one of the worst reffing job I've seen in a long time. I'm blatant calls that just could have been reversed. Just bad. That's bad. Bad.
Oh, it was awful. But you know what? You were on the right side. It sucks so much, but let's just try and get past it. Let's get
right to it.
Let's focus on today and this card, because this is a beauty 13-game card. We can analyze him. We only have a 3-game NBA card as well. So this is the meat and potatoes of the show. This is the heart of today's show. So let's get to work. We start at 6 p.m. Eastern. We have the Toledo Rockets 10-8, 4-2 in the MAC at the Bowling Green Falcons 7-11, 2-4 in the MAC. We're in the Stroh Center in Bowling Green, Ohio. We've heard from Gravy Betts, who's from Toledo. I used to sit in both of these gyms. He's got family, first cousins that played for both squads. And he says Bowling Green gonna get smacked. Bowling Green gonna get smacked. He is on Toledo -5. It is the gravy play of the day. It is on Toledo. So let's get into this one and discuss the line history and the cash flow. Now, we're only going to have cash flow for a few of these games, unfortunately, but at least we have some cash flow information. This has Toledo -2.5 and -106. That's our situation right now. This opened up at 2.5 -108. 1 point, this got juiced to -115, and it's come back. So we've had a 2-cent move to Bowling Green. A 2-cent move to Bowling Green here in this market. Take a look at the total. This total is at 160. It's a nice high total. It opened up at 159.5 everywhere, even the books that put it out at 2:15 or the books that put it out at 7 p.m. This came out at 6:13 p.m. here, 159 -110. And this was a 158.5. This had gone down to the under until 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago, we had a 1.5 move to the over. So we have a half-point move towards the over. Let's get to the cash flow here for our first game on the board. We only have information on the total. 34% of tickets and 41% cash is on the under. And this might be a great spot for Toledo. Now, both teams are coming off of losses, so both teams are angry. Toledo coming off a horrific loss at home to Kent State. I mean, 83-64 in front of your own people. They were down 14 points at halftime. They were a 1.5 favorite in the basketball game. They shot 20% from three. They got out-rebounded 30-20. You have to think losers of 2 of their last 3 that this team is ready to go. But then you have Bowling Green, losers of 3 of their last 4. They lost to Eastern Michigan at home. Eastern Michigan is an okay team in this conference, 3-3. Then they lose at Miami of Ohio, 84-76. Now they were 9.5-point dogs. But Bowling Green shot 50% from 3 and 48.1% from the field in that game, and still, couldn't get the job done. You think if you shoot 10 of 20 from 3, that you'll get the job done. That 10 of 20, of course, with Bowling Green comes from Marcus Johnson, Derek Butler, and Trey Thomas. Nobody else took a three-pointer. It's just those 3 guys. It feels like they're an easier team to defend. Take it away for us here, CMAC, our first game on the board, Toledo Rockets, Bowling Green Falcons.
Yeah, and that's a ton of their offense, and really especially Johnson. But Bowling Green's problem is, it's been this way for a while, a little bit with Toledo too, is the defense, especially inside. Teams are just soft, and give up easy buckets. As you see, they shoot the ball well, and they still lose a basketball game by 8 points. And we get to both these teams off losses. Bowling Green 2, a bad home loss to Eastern Michigan, and then that tighter game against Miami, Ohio. When I got to this, I think Toledo can't play better. This is one of the better Toledo teams, at least of the last few years. Just nothing's been consistent with them all year long. And then we've seen it win-loss, whether it's been at home or on the road. I mean, they have a big at Ball State. They kick their ass. Where they win at Western Michigan, then they have bad losses. 2 was at UMKC. I think they lost 2. I have to double check. Toledo. They lost at Purdue. Okay, at Akron. I had these schedules flipped. My bad. I lean Bowling Green here. I can't lay points with Toledo. Just not with the defense that they play on the road. If they just was flipped and maybe they were at home, I could take them. I talk about it all the time. I got to really love Toledo. I don't love how they've been playing basketball to lay points. Could they go in there and win by 10? Sure. But I cannot look their way. I just got to be off this game. High total, should be points. But I don't know if we can get there at 160.
Last 3 conference road games, they beat Western Michigan. Road games. Sorry, they beat Western Michigan by 6. They lose to Akron by 7. They beat Ball State by 18.
Yeah.
These are, Akron, good basketball team. This is going to take. I guess I want to know what the hell's going on with the cash flow in the market in this one. So, but Kong saying he's with you on Bowling Green. He just hasn't got there yet. Troy Twins has bad defense, lineup stacked with guards, and their bigs are passive in the rebounding category. Shout out to our guy Chang Kim, looking for best bets from C-Mac and I. If you're going to parlay them, my half will be the Winnipeg Jets. If you're going to bet them single with $100 pops, let me know. Because if you're going to parlay them, then it's the Jets would be my half of it now. It's minus 210 to minus 230 right now, so it's expensive. Okay, but Gravy Bets is on Toledo here in this one. Let's roll on. We have a big one, and we have full market information. Now, the full market information does come through. It just, I have to keep checking throughout the day, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. We have 7 p.m. Eastern action in the Big East. This is an absolute beauty. Villanova Wildcats, 12-8, 5-4 in the Big East. At the number 10 ranked Marquette Golden Eagles, 16-3, 7-1 in the Big East. Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we have an angry Villanova squad, losers of 3 of their last 4. Shout out to Spoondog, who had Georgetown and Georgetown Moneyline on MLK Day. Jose Bouquet, also Georgetown Moneyline on MLK Day. And Marquette bounced back from that 59-57 home loss to Xavier by winning at Seton Hall, with authority, 76-59. It was impressive. They were 12.5-point favorites. They win by 17. They didn't shoot the ball very well and still, won by margin. Held Seton Hall to 21 points in the first half. Completely in control of that basketball game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. And 1 day rest advantage for Villanova, but they're traveling. They played on Monday. Marquette played on Tuesday. Let's get this line history up and hand it over to C-Mac. This total's at 142.5. It's juiced to the under. This did get up to 144.5 about an hour before the show started, but it's back down now. And on the point spread, we have Marquette right now is 9.5-point favorites. There's been 3 cents of movement towards Marquette at this number. When we get to the cash flow, we have 55% of the tickets and 65% of the cash on Villanova, so it's kind of coin flippy, but that's the reason why the line's not moving. 82% tickets, 88% cash on the over. Take it away, C-Mac, a big one in the Big East. And shout out to BJ for all of his best bets. I've got them copied and pasted, so we'll discuss them, my man. Andrew G says that's a lot. Action Jackson on this 9.5. Action Jackson on the 9.5. Kong's clips liking Villanova here. Okay, Chang's gonna parlay it. So my half is the Jets, Chang. Mr. Belvedere says that is a hefty spread. Boxing First Vlog says all these points, they're begging people to take Nova. Let's hear from C-Mac. Golden Eagles at home versus the Wildcats in Milwaukee.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I mean, this Marquette team's been laying double digits really all year long. They finally, after a long drought, cover that number against, Seton Hall team that's just ice cold. They look like the team from earlier in the year. But consistently when they've laid doubles, maybe this team has not covered the number. 10.5 lost, 13.5, 13, 10. They were like 14.5 to Butler. They win by 10. I think there's just a little bit too much love for Marquette. Now, in the past, they've kind of dominated Villanova the last couple of years. And one thing what makes Marquette good, they haven't shot the three ball better this year, but they're very good with the basketball. They don't turn it over a ton, and that's why they're 16-3. With Nova here, I think they can keep this game close. We talk about Dixon and how good he is. We missed on that Friday, but I told Cab go right back to it, and he went 5 for 10. I know it's up there today. I think his threes are at 3 for a guy shooting 46%. I think it might be, or 47, right around there. He's going to shoot a ton, and that was tough that night when he had his foot on the line there. But I think he should be good. But I think it's at 3 for the most part. The 2.5s are really, really juiced there. But he's going to get a ton. Obviously, leads the country in scoring. I think this Nova team, there just isn't this big number. Marquette, all nice, fat and happy after the beat down on the road. They do come back home where they've been excellent, 10-1. But they just haven't been a team that's been trusted at all. I think it's Nova or nothing here. I haven't bet this, so this is a wait for me.
Yeah, it's so interesting, reading between the lines of the lines. And, I'm thinking about last night, there were so many instances. Charleston at -3. Why was Charleston, the class of last year's conference, only 3 at home against the, NC Wilmington team that, it was at the beginning of the year thought to be, a level below them. And of course, Charleston doesn't win, doesn't cover. I thought the same thing on a couple spots, like, with Queens. I don't know if Queens ended up covering last night, but it was a very tough game. And our guy Barry Smith loving that basketball team. And it's made a lot of people a lot of money, but the line made no sense. When these lines make no sense here, I'm not saying the line doesn't make any sense. We could say the line is, where it probably should be, but I could see the 9.5 being extremely appealing to the dog backers. And here, 60, the bigger bets have come in on Nova. I kind of want to see where this market plays out here. Kind of want to see what happens to it, but when I do feel like this is a spot where they're not begging us, but putting the dog on a silver platter, it makes me question the dog here. Yeah. Actually, Jackson says this is like the 10-point spread, Marquette versus Xavier here. If you're sitting beside Jose right now, and Jose pulls out all of his cash at BetMGM and says, CMAC here, you take this to the window. We split the profits. What do you find more appealing? Because at this point, I would take Nova.
Give me some good news, Mac.
I tell him to bet another game. But if he, but I tell him, to take Nova, the 10. This game, I lean over. One thing with Nova, and Dixon's been so good, is they've been shooting 40% from 3. Brickus has been pretty good, some of their role players, and they make their free throws. They shoot 80% just about. So that's something that always, with a road dog like this, Jamie, that checks the mark where, let's say a team shoots 65 from the free throw line, shit like that when I go through everything. At least I like that.
Yeah, this makes me uncomfortable. Let's roll on and head over to the Northeast Conference here. We have 7 p.m. Eastern action. Wagner Seahawks 10-8, 2-3 in the NEC at the Mercyhurst Lakers 8-13, 2-4 in the NEC. We're at Mercyhurst Athletic Center in Erie, Pennsylvania. Wagner's won 2 of 3. We last saw them versus St. Francis, Pennsylvania. We've moved that St. Francis game back a little bit later in the program. It's still within the 7 p.m. games because it is a spot that Morgan Spooner is attacking. But let's talk here. Wagner won in double overtime, 70-68. Very few points scored in this game. They shot poorly. Wagner shot 36.7 from the field and 36.4 from 3. 3.5 point favorites. They don't cover in that one. But they've won 2 of their last 3 basketball games. Mercyhurst beat Wagner in Wagner, 69-65. And that was just on Saturday. So these teams just faced each other on Saturday. It was Mercyhurst shot the ball pretty well, but it was all in the second half. They were down 30-22 in the first half. It's amazing the tale of 2 halves, with these games. Wagner was opened up as 4.5-point favorites or 4. Somebody closed at 5.5, and they lose, in their own barn. Does that mean we think that Wagner is going to come right in after Mercyhurst playing 4 straight road games? They haven't been at home since the 5th of January, plays their first home game back in. Let's take a look at the line history here and hand it over to CMAC. We only have cash flow information on the total, but Wagner right now is a +1 here. They've gone from favorite to dog. Now, UC Davis last night went from 2-point dog to 2-point favorite and pushed at the -2, pushed as a favorite. Now, I did bet them. I felt like I didn't have enough action yesterday in college basketball, and I did bet them. It was I think it was my last bet of the day, and it pushed. But here we have the opposite, but it's not quite. Let's go to the money line here to get a better idea of exactly, because that +1's -118. So let's take a look at the money line here for Wagner. Wagner opened up at -120, and 31 minutes later they were -102. It's come back a little bit, but there's still being an 8-cent move away from Wagner, which is, why would that be? It just doesn't make sense to me. This total is 119. It's extremely low. It opened up over 119 at -125. Now it's over 119 at -120. Both these teams who shoot so poorly are, buoyed by overtimes of late, and that's the only reason why these terrible teams are going over their totals. Take it away for us here. Oh, and we have the NCAA. We've already talked about the Dallas Stars for Ron Crawford, but Villanova, NCAA play today from Ron Crawford. Take it away for us here, CMAC, Northeast Conference, Seahawks, Lakers in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, let's touch on this total. I'm tempted here by this under. You mentioned OT. I'm even tempted by the first half then at 56. These basketball teams are just so slow. We got 359 and 361 in these two. And Mercier, it's probably been a little bit of luck. They're bad rebounding team. Mercier, when we go through it, I think they're 359, the same number as their pace. Just bad. One thing in that game, Jimmy, and it happened in the last Wagner game that you were talking about, just a little bit insane 47-point second half. Like, they shoot 23 or 27 for the free throw line. I think they shot 40% from 3 and 50% total. I just don't think that happens again. I know this is at 119 and there's not a lot of room, but I don't know how this does it. This breaks 60. Really, I think this is just an ugly fight. I think Wagner is the move here too. After losing him to him 6 days ago, it's difficult to take a team though that has their own struggles. Especially to score. You could just go minutes and minutes without buckets in this basketball game. It could be tough. But solid these defenses have been pretty good.
How did they score 82 points in the second half of that basketball game? I just...
You mean 47 points?
Oh, well, the combined.
Yeah.
In the second half, 82 in the second half. I can't. I think the under. When people see this is conflicting, but I'd like to hit it a little longer. I don't want to just move past it, despite it being conflicting. When people see a 119, generally the public bets the over, and 91% of the tickets and 92% of the cash are on the over, and it's dropped.
Of course. This is close. This under nothing, just like I was talking about. Under.
And I'm very interested in moving on the under. And then the second spot here is Mercy. You're right. Mercyhurst shooting 40% from 3 and 48.8 from the field. It's just not going to happen again. So why would this line be slightly moving towards Mercyhurst? You got the revenge, you got everything. Is it small enough of a line move that you put a line through it?
I think so. I don't find it that big deal. I think people too, they're at home. They just beat them like the normal. I don't think it's crazy. Like this moves to 2.5 or you know what I mean? 2.5, 3. Now I think that's different.
Okay. Yeah, Josh Miller. Nobody here is charging for picks. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I think you're on the wrong show. We're just trying to cap together. But feel free to, I mean, also, not that it's important, but when you write a sentence with 15 or 20 spelling mistakes, less emphasis will be put on the trash that you're speaking. But no one's selling shit here. We're just trying to cap together, whoever the hell you are. Okay, so I'm interested in this under, very interested in this under. And I don't, I'd love Coin and Kong to give us an idea of why they are leaning towards Mercyhurst, because you would think that the Rebenga would be the very first thing mentioned in this, and that was 6 days ago that Mercyhurst shot incredibly well on the road. And then you have their first game back, and maybe you were right about that first half under. I find the under really appealing, even though it's so low. And I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I expect to move on it of some sort. Unfortunately, it kind of feels like one of those spots that you want to go first half and full game. Okay, Josh, why don't you write in your language, because then we won't understand it as well. So Wagner, Mercyhurst, anything you want to do here before we move on to the next spot?
Well, just that first game I wanted to hit on was, they only had 56 or 52 points in that first half too.
It is appealing. So under and Wagner are appealing. Let's roll on. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, we have the Chicago State Cougars. We stay in the Northeast Conference. Jermaine in the house. Great to see you, man. 2-18, 2-3 in conference for Chicago State. Now, I backed them. Now, I only backed them first half, but they barely covered the first half, even though they won that game outright in one of their victories at the Stonehill Skyhawks. So we're in southeastern Massachusetts for this spot. Let's get this all set up here for CMAC, and let's roll. First off, we'll go over the line history in this one. We have a total a little higher than our last one, 132.5. It's juiced to the over. This opened up at 132.5 minus 115. It got up 7 cents, came back a few cents, but we have a 4-cent move towards the over. We're only getting cash flow information on totals right now, but we will go over those. From a point spread scenario here, Stonehill is not 8.5 point favorite, or nine mostly, 9 around the books. But this reminds me of the Chicago State game that I backed them, because this line is moving towards Chicago State. They opened up at plus 10. It's now a plus 8.5. It's again, it's more of a 9, but we have a 1-point move towards Chicago State. Let's get into the cash flow again. We'll likely only get information on the total. Let's see what we have here. We have everything. Oh, that's great. I don't know why they're giving us everything for Chicago State Stonehill, but 67% of the tickets and 92% of the cash is on Stonehill. I mean, that makes me want to run to the window and bet the Wolves here, or the Cougars. 81% of the tickets, 81% of cash on the over, and I meant the Cougars here. So do we move on this spot with these Chicago State Cougars? They have, that was the game against Wagner. That was 3 weeks ago, 64-52. They lose to the Sharks. They only score 39 points after that. They lose to Stonehill by 16. Then they beat, in legit fashion, they beat Moyne 88-72 at home. And they play well, 54.7 from the field and 57.9 from three, and play clean basketball. They were 3.5 point dogs in that one. We know that they're capable of playing better basketball. Then they go to Fairleigh Dickinson. That was on Monday. They lose 58-48. They play terrible. Now they go back out on the road. Stonehill just lost at Moyne. These teams played 3 weeks ago, and Stonehill beat up Chicago State in Chicago State, beat them up badly. beat them 68-52. So we have the Rebenga again. Chicago State shot 31.9 from the field and 14.3 from three. Why don't they shoot better here? Why don't we? Can we? How about this? Can we trust the Chicago State Cougars in this spot? Take it away, C-Mac.
I think they can. This is just a team that hasn't done it much. And they shoot 28% from three all year. They're 50th in the country. For a half, can they? That first half against Stonehill, they got their ass kicked. But, even that last game, 10 points, they'd lose this number against Fairleigh Dickinson. I think they were only down 3 or 4 at half. Is that what you're looking at here, first half? Chicago State?
I'm looking at a double-up spot. In that game against Stonehill, at home, in front of their own fans, they scored 5 points in the first 9 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yeah, there's been some stretches. You've seen them a little bit, and you've bet them that it could be really bad. Watching this team, they were pretty good. They got to the line in that game, but they couldn't hit a shot. They were 15 of 47, 2 of 14 from three. So it was a real struggle. Stonehill's pretty good shooters. This team's solid. They're 6-1 at home. Should they be laying 9? The line's about right. The consistency of Chicago State is it here. But they should be playing better against these teams like this. They're not playing against the big teams from earlier in the year. Jamie, there were St. Louis or Grand Canyon, Illinois, all those teams. So, I think there's some value on them. It's about as ugly as you get as a dog. But I would take them first half here a little bit with the points. I mean, this is ugly, but what do we have here? Is it 5.5?
This to me is like,
first half?
Get that lipstick out, put it on the pig, and let's go to the town, man. I love this shit so much.
I
Now,
do like Chicago State, so I think I'm going to move on them myself.
I agree. The thing is here with this is a tricky spot where we want to time it perfect because the first halves are 5.5 at Will Hill at regular vig, but it's juiced the 5.5 at Sharp Offshores. Yeah,
they played so well, and what they should have here against Lemoyne. I mean, they were at home. Wow, unreal.
Yeah,
18 from 3.
The lights out. Look, this is screaming at me. I got to be on the Cougars here.
Stonehill are coming off a loss to that Lemoyne team on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there. I'm back here at home.
I mean, look, you have a rematch against the team where you scored 5 points in the first 10 minutes and you shot 14.3% from three. You get to go to their barn. The pressure's off you. You're also not looking at, you've won 2 of your last 5 games. In that game from three, their starters shot 1 of 14 from three.
No.
I mean, come on. Oh, sorry. 1 of 12. My bad. 1 of 12 from three. Look,
that's happened though a lot. That's not like an anomaly here. That's happened consistently. Oh, that's the only thing that gives me, pause.
No, I feel you. I mean, don't you think everybody's going to be sitting here? I mean, the public's going to.
It's take the 5.5 here or nothing. I agree.
I'm in on Chicago State, and I think it's a double up spot for me. First half, full game. I'm in. This is the kind of bum fight I'm all over here. And imagine doubling on the first half full game under Wagner Mercyhurst, first half full game Chicago State Cougars. That's what Fridays are all about, man. That's what Fridays are all about. Now, Jose, you could get kicked out of the sports book cheering for Bricks, but remember, this is a men's basketball. Yeah, men's
basketball. I'm not betting the unrivaled 3-on-3 league, but I'm officially in +9 full game Chicago State.
Troy Torrance says, I don't know if this is worth the double up. Oh, I get it. I get it. Let's roll on. But we stay in the fabulous Northeast Conference. Central Connecticut Blue Devils against the aforementioned Lemoyne Dolphins. We're in Ted Grant Court in Syracuse, New York for this one. Let's get this all set up here. Central Connecticut 12-6, 3-2 in conference. Le Moyne 7-13, 2-3 in conference. Let's get this one set up here. I got the Le Moyne game. Le Moyne, of course, coming up that win over Stonehill and that loss at Chicago State. Here. So Central Connecticut coming off the win over Fairleigh Dickinson, and it was a big one. They'd lost 2 straight. They lost at home to Wagner, at home to Long Island, got out on the road, and felt good about themselves. That was on Saturday the 18th. They win 71-60 at Fairleigh Dickinson. They shoot 50.9 from the field and 33.3 from 3. So they got the pressure off them a little bit. And, Le Moyne winning 2 of their last 3. They bounced back from the loss, at Chicago State by beating Stonehill. They also, have won their last 2 home games here. So let's take a look at the line history. Le Moyne played on Monday. Central Connecticut played on Saturday. So Central Connecticut does have a 2-day rest advantage. Troy Torrance says this is very clearly a Central Connecticut spot. I would like it better if Central Connecticut was on the 2-game losing streak, personally. Troy, I would like that a little bit better. But let's take a look at the line history here. And I don't expect to have much cash flow information. Central Connecticut -3. That's exactly. So this didn't open up until 9:15 this morning. So we have no information on anything but the total 87% tickets and 87% cash on that over. And then on the total for this one, we have this hanging at a, come on. All right. Here we go. Hanging at it's first half. So the first half's at 64.5. The full game here is at 137, -116 to the under. This opened up at 136, so we've gone up a point to 137. Take it away, C-Mac. More Northeast Conference action. Blue Devils, Dolphins in Syracuse, New York.
Yeah, Central Connecticut has played really good all year long. This team's got a solid record. They've been really good. ATS. They've even been solid on the road. I think that's why people want to jump on them. There's no way I could take them here. This team, when all through the numbers, I think they're a little bit better in their conference, but they're not that good of a basketball team. One problem here is they are better defensively than Le Moyne. I like how Le Moyne's been playing a little bit of late. Jimmy, now with that defense that's bad, they got to score a little more. Central Connecticut State's been great to the under. I've been on a few of those, 3 or 4 this year. Le Moyne's gone over a little bit more, 12-6 to the over, 7-2 in their last 9. They are off this win against Stonehill. We just talked about them, but I think they're playing some of their better basketball as of late. I know they're only 4-4 at home, but I like them with the 6. Are you even seeing I'm seeing a few 5.5s already here. Just come down.
Let me go.
A few spots. They're offshore spots, but
I'm not seeing. Oh yes, it has just. Yes, you're absolutely right. That's the only line. Now I'll refresh this, but the only one I'm seeing that has moved is at -115. But it's where we used to play our poker games offshore. That's the only one that I've seen move to 5.5. At this.
Yeah, I like Le Moyne here.
Huh. Very, very interesting spot here. And when I went over the line history, what did I say? I think. Sorry. Oh yeah, because it just okay. Sorry, I was talking about I accidentally gave the first half line spread, and I apologize. So the full game at -6 came out at 8:05 a.m. It's moved 1 cent towards Central Connecticut since it's been out. So let's see if a book where we played our poker. I imagine they got this out earlier, and they did. They got this out at 8:34 p.m. last night. So at 8:34 p.m. last night, they opened this up at Central Connecticut -7 at -110. So they just moved it from 6.5 to 5.5 59 minutes ago. So now we have a 1.5 move to Le Moyne at home. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Rod's Wagner.
Yeah, one thing.
Oh yeah. Jump in.
No, it's just the consistency like of these teams. Like, all year they haven't really won more than 2 games all year. And can we see consistency of them shooting it? That's another thing. They shot the ball real well in that Stonehill game. Yeah, I'm liking Lemoyne here.
I like it. I like where you're at. I would now really interesting stuff, Troy, with his database with college basketball. Road dogs that close between -8 and -10 are 64% against the spread when 60% of the cash is on the home team, but the line moves towards the road team. There's a bunch of different hypotheses that Troy's working on right now, and I don't want to spoil them, but a lot, not spoil them, but I want him, when he's ready to talk about them. But it basically it's about he's seeing a lot of value on road teams, and I'll leave it at that. But here I'm curious why he thinks this is a Central Connecticut spot. I'm with you. I think Lemoyne can keep this close here. So I'm gonna have Lemoyne here written down again. I'm gonna be checking every hour for cash flow information, but I expect in a game where there's a 12-6 team that's 3-2 in conference against the 7-13, 2-3 in conference home dog, that the public will be on the Blue Devils, and will be
Well, I'd like to see that a little bit throughout the day. The money on that day,
Yeah, I'd like to see the proof of it. Yeah, I'm right with you.
But
all right. All right, so Lemoyne is on my short list here. Again, shout out to our guy Chang Kim joining us. So we'd like to find. He wants to find a spot that you can connect CMAC to to Winnipeg, and it is a parlay. So if it you can't take a money line spot to tie with my -220 or whatever it is. And Troy Torrance says if it moves towards Lemoyne, then that's it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I get it. I feel you, Troy. All right. Okay, let's roll on. We head over to the Horizon League. We're going to be back in the NEC here. We're going to be back with Morgan Spooner in the NEC. Now, if he's not here, we'll just roll through those games and then come back to Morgan. So that's how we'll roll things. We got Aaron Malavo joining us from Manila, Philippines. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us. College basketball right now, Aaron, and then we're going to move into NBA basketball, but thank you, Aaron, and shout out to the Philippines. Let's roll. 7 p.m. Eastern with the Milwaukee Panthers 14-7, 7-3 in the Horizon at the Northern Kentucky Norse. The mighty Norse 9-11, 4-5 in the Horizon. We're in Highland Heights, Kentucky for this spot. Let's set up D-line history. Also, let's see, do we get any cash information? It's starting to come in. You know what? I'm gonna refresh. We're starting to get more cash flow information here, but none from this Northern Kentucky spot, unfortunately. But it's starting to trickle in, so that's extremely helpful. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. Northern Kentucky Norse, a very slight home dog right now, +1.5 at -107. They opened up at +2. This got to +2.5, and then there was a move back to the Norse. We have a 0.5-point move towards the Norse. Let's get into the total here for this one. From a total perspective, we're dealing with a 140.5, although I do see 141s out there. This is one that opened up at 140, got up to 141, got up to 141.5 before it dropped over the last hour to 140.5. Still a 0.5-point move towards the over. And then let's get to the cash. Oh, no, cash flow is not going to help us. It will help us with the total, though, right? The 88% of tickets, 89% cash on the over. Take it away for us here, CMAC. We're in the Horizon League for the Northern Kentucky Norse at home to the Milwaukee Panthers.
In Northern Kentucky, struggling here of late, losers of 4 straight, even 2 at home. This team struggled to score at times. I mean, that's always been the case with them. They need to play good defense inside. It hasn't really been there for them. So when you give up points and then you can't score, they've been bad from inside. I mean, I guess a little bit better from outside in the free throw line. Only 64% have not been great. They need to win here at home badly. This Milwaukee team just keeps winning. Jimmy, they're a good inside team. Talking about a team that doesn't shoot it well, but they're good on the glass, both sides of the glass. They've been excellent rebounding team. Is Milwaukee. They score a ton of points, a ton of possessions. Their games have gone a little bit more to the over. I mean, they're only 8-11, but their lines have been really, really high. This keeps moving up, which I think it's Milwaukee. But I was surprised. This keeps going. I want to come the other way on the under because I think Northern Kentucky is desperate here at home, has to play their style of basketball in this game.
Can you make sense of this line? I mean, Northern Kentucky lost 4 straight. They've lost all those games by margin. They lose at Youngstown State by 11. They lose at Oakland by 15. That was at home. They lose to Cleveland State. Now, Cleveland State on top of the conference, playing very well. So, but they lose by 18 at Cleveland State. Then they lose to Wright State by 8. Wright State's 4-6 in conference. These are losers of 4 straight games. And you have Milwaukee, who have just played on Wednesday. So Milwaukee's played 2 games since Northern Kentucky played their last game. Isn't this a spot where the market is going to tell us that, come on, Pete Alonso just signed with the Jays?
Really?
Come on.
Bro.
Oh, thank God. Oh, Santander and the Pete Alonso, and we get to watch baseball again. Oh, my God, BJ, that's phenomenal news. Oh, now we get to enjoy going to watch. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. It's just like, thank God. I mean, we're just going to waste a whole nother year. Oh, that's going to be so much fun to have them around Vladdy and Bo. Oh, my God. That's just fucking wonderful, wonderful news. Sorry, C-Mac. Don't you think this is a line that's set up for us for everybody and their mama to be betting Milwaukee?
Yeah. But I can't take them here. And I don't know. I don't agree to the move to the over here. I mean, I think it got to 142, because that's where I'm going to look to come on this under. If it goes higher, this is our move.
Here's a question from Nutflush. He says, how does North Kentucky score 71?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they have to keep this game under to be in it. So why is there love? Why is Milwaukee moving up to a 3 here in this basketball game?
I have sorry, let me go back to this here. I have this line moving a half point towards the north.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Even more a point. Yeah.
So it does look at isn't this a must bet on the Northern Kentucky Norse? I mean, don't we have to trust the market? I mean,
they're tough to trust. Yes, but
this is the wheelhouse though when a 14-7 team is at almost a pick'em against the 9-11 team. You have a 7-3 in conference team against a 4-5, and it's almost a pick'em. The books are trying to actively beat us. This is wheelhouse stuff. The question is, I don't want to be the last thing I want to do. And you have to make this if you're so uncomfortable about I can't take Chicago State first half and full game, the first half and full game under and Wagner, and then what out of panic. I can't be doubling up on these spots. I can't be doubling up on all of this at all. This is Northern Kentucky's a must bet. I don't even need to look at the cash flow. I just need to bet this.
All right.
Do you feel anything about whether or not a first half or full game would be a better angle, or is that tough to tell?
No, I think that's tough to tell. I mean, it's just basically a pick 'em. I'd like to go through their first half at home a little bit with Northern Kentucky.
All right, Troy moving on the north right now. This is Northern Kentucky is a must bet. So I can't be betting these first. I can't be doubling up on all these spots. I mean, I guess I can look at how much action I have, but
yeah, I mean they've lost the last couple. They lost those games. They have to just play better at fucking defense here. If they do not, they lose. Like it's gut check time. I mean, for a team that's lost 4 straight, so they've been tough.
So right
this
now,
year.
the card, I would only take full games. I can't be doubling up on these spots. I would be on the under in Wagner, Mercyhurst. I'd be on Chicago State full game, Moyne full game, Northern Kentucky full game. That's the plan at this point. We move on to a fun spot here on our show where we welcome back a capper who made his Betting with the Bag debut last Friday. We've all been very impressed with his college basketball capping, and he is rocking with us on Fridays with Best Bets. We have Best Bets back to back here. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Morgan Spooner, back to the show. Spoondog, how are you, my man?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. Thanks for having me on again. Nice to see you, C-Mac. Great as always.
Great to
really
see you.
Excited about this Kent State game here. Golden Flashes, I got to see them earlier this season in person. I think this is a really good team. I think they're going to start to get a lot better than they've done in the MAC so far. They've started out 3-3 in conference. If you look at the preseason, this is a team that was picked to finish second in conference. A few different coaches picked them to actually win. And there's a kid named Solinger on this team. He's an Ohio bloodline. His uncle played for Ohio State, very well coached all the way up. Kent State is a team that was really just down and out. If you go back 3 games, they were as bad as they could be. The coach, looking at the press conferences, he was talking about them being at rock bottom and how do we get better from here. He was looking at their 3-point shooting, and their team shooting 30 shots from 3 in a game where they're only shooting 28% from the field. Why are we taking that many threes? We got to get to the basket more. So in this Toledo game, they really bounced back. If you look at it, they took 19 threes and they made more than half of them. They were transition threes. They were open threes. They were threes off of rebounds. They weren't just taking the end of the possession, jacked up shots like they'd been doing in that Ball State game, that Miami game where they lost. And I think the coach has really got a circled spot here. Ohio was picked to finish first in the conference, and he really wants this win. Ohio's 7-0 at home, and you gotta get a loss at some point there. I think this is the spot you can get it. Kent State money line at plus money. That's where I'm at, Jimmy.
Fascinating spot, Spoondog. Let's set this one up and then hear C-Mac's thoughts on it. My first instinct is concerned just because of Ohio coming off, 2 road losses. My concern is that they're an angry group. We just saw what Kent State did off of 2 home losses. Now it's 2 road losses for Ohio, but Kent State has 2 home losses, and they smash and grab Toledo, which of course they have a storied rivalry with, but they smash and grab Toledo. Let's take a look at the line history here. This is Spoondog's best bet number 1. We'll get into number 2 here in a second. Kent State now the favorite offshore. Interesting, from plus 2.5 to -1. Wow, and it's juiced towards them. Wow. But they're the book leading the way in that regard. I don't see any minus. Oh, yes. Oh, no. Yeah, there's no -1.5. Let's get a look on the money line to get an idea of how fast this has moved towards Kent State here. We have Kent State now -122. They opened up at -107, but at 8:03 a.m., an hour and 40 minutes later, they were at -101. So it got down to -101. Now it's a -122. So legit move towards Kent State. Let's take a look at the total here in this. Good God, if Ohio is off 2 wins, I would be running to the window with you. I mean, clearly the market's saying that, Maureen, you're on the sharp side. This total opened up at 145.5, dropped down to 144, got all the way down to 143 before it creeped up to 145. We still have a half-point move towards the under, and I imagine we're only getting information on the total, 77% tickets, 80% cash on that over. What a fascinating cap here. The golden flashes for Morgan Spooner. C-Mac, what are you looking at? What do you think about the spot?
Yeah, this has been these teams have been it's been a good rivalry. There's been great games. Ohio got them. I think last year, even in the tournament, I believe. I think they won the last couple. Ohio. One thing that gets me, of course, their team that's gone way over. I mean, if you've been backing their overs, you've been cashing a ton. But Kent State's a team I want to look at here with an under. Some of these games have got over between them, but I think this is more of a dogfight type game and lower scoring. Kent State needs to slow this down, play their style here in this, because they're not a team. They don't shoot it good from deep, like you talked about. They have to get inside, use their size down low here. I think they're right here. This is a tough game off Ohio, off the 2 losses. You know, that Akron game. And then the bad one to Eastern Michigan. I mean, you can't give up 94 points to fucking Eastern Michigan. You know what I mean? The defense got to be. I've been all up in the ears. I want the under here. That's what I'm talking about in this game. You know, when I was going through it this morning.
That under seems pretty sharp. You got 2 coaches that are going to have this game circled. They're going to value the possessions going down the stretch in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
145 and a half. We can get you a 145 and a half. Here.
Yeah, what's the juice?
Wow, it's just minus 108. This has come up. This has gone from 144 at 8:39.
Moved a little bit.
No, sorry. This was a 143 and a half at 10:38 a.m.
Yeah. Okay.
Flat 143. It was a flat 143 at 10:15 a.m. And now it's a 145 and a half. The under 145 and a half minus 108. This is a real sharp offshore too. So let's get you this. Is this official spot for you, C-Mac?
Yeah, I mean, let me wait here. If we get 146, but yeah, this will be.
Okay, 145. So we're gonna see if we can get a better number here before.
I don't know if I can, but if I can get 146, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, let's see, because it's moving in that direction. And then we have a Morgan. Morgan, did you tweet any of this out, or is this we live?
Yeah, before the show, I tweeted out what it was at. I believe I got Kent State at plus 100. That line's been coming down. I'd like the money line. I don't want to lay the 1.5. Wherever it's at now, I'm fine putting down.
No, if you tweet it out, that's exactly how it works. Kent State at plus 100 here. When we know, at least on this offshore that I'm looking at, it was at minus 101 for a while. So, and now you can get it at minus 115. It says coin. So, again, let's follow our friend Morgan Spooner here on X. I'll pop his X handle in the chat here when we get closer to leaving here. Do you believe that the issues for the Bobcats are legitimate, that Kent State is climbing in the right direction, and that one should look beyond the fact that there's an angry Bobcats team off of 2 losses? And this for you, Morgan, do you believe that we should look past that and that Kent State's moving in the right direction, Ohio Bobcats moving in the wrong direction, and now we're meeting here and Kent State's going to take care of business?
I think how you finished it exactly is what's going on. You have 2 teams regressing in different directions at this part of the season. Ohio, I think they had high expectations to be a really good team this year, and I don't think everything's worked out the way they wanted to. Their bubble's kind of popping. Now that you get coaches that know how these kids play, they get good scouting reports on them, can kind of see what's going on. They're not able to do what they were hoping to be able to do. And on the opposite end, Kent State, you have a lot of really good players. So you get the interacting graphs there. I think this is just one of those regression spots where I see Ohio. They have lost 2 in a row, but I think it's time to lose 3 in a row. They're 7-0 at home. That's it's not a good home environment. I don't think there's going to be 2,000 people there tonight. Kent State basketball means more to Kent State than Ohio basketball means to Ohio, in my opinion. I think this is a Kent State game. I really do.
Well, it's a great breakdown. A lot of food for thought for me. Kent State at even money, tweeted out by Morgan Spooner. CMAC, we're going to see if we can get that up to 146. But right now, it's a 145 and a half at minus 108. for CMAC, but we're going to see if we can beat that line. Let's move on to the next best bet here for Morgan Spooner, 7 p.m. Eastern, with the Long Island University Sharks 10-11 and undefeated in the Northeast Conference at St. Francis, Pennsylvania Red Flash, 7-13, 2-4 in the NEC. Not to be confused with the St. Francis in Illinois, where our Troy Torrance was a All-American wide receiver there. Let's roll into let's roll into Long Island, St. Francis. We have Long Island rolling, absolutely rolling. And we talked about them holding the lowly Chicago State Cougars, who I'll be on today, to 39 points. They've been rolling. They take out Moyne at home by 16, take out Chicago State by 14, head out onto the road, beat Stonehill by 10, just squeak by Central Connecticut. And then they beat these St. Francis Red Flash 64-51 on Saturday, 6 days ago. And now they are back playing again. Since then, though, they went ahead and took out Mercyhurst 72-63. Now, that took overtime to get there, so that was a little more difficult than it looked. So can St. Francis finally put an L in the conference loss column for Long Island University? St. Francis coming off back-to-back losses, Long Island, and then they lose in double overtime at Wagner. They head home, where the last time they were here, they took out Mercyhurst 73-59. Now, we know Mercyhurst isn't that good of a basketball team. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. We have this total very low. It's a very low 120. I see 129. I see 129.5, but this has climbed up to 130 here. Now, it's heavily juiced to the under, but it's climbed up to 130 here offshore. And then let's get to the point spread here for this spot. We have St. Francis right now, +2. They opened up at +1.5, so we have a half-point move towards Long Island. You know, this is fishy, man. This is fishy. And 101 Benny kind of hammering it too, saying St. Francis way better than the record. Long Island is mediocre. Give me this points with St. Francis, Pennsylvania, and the money line. This is fishy, and the right kind of fishy, because I got to hear your cap before I can be confident. Take it away, Morgan. Best bet number 2. Floor is yours.
I
Sharks,
agree.
red flag.
I agree. This is a fishy line, and last night, just looking at it, fishy line. Sharks eat fish. It's really fun to roll with LIU. They got a former NBA player that's a head coach there, and Rob Strickland. They're out to 6-0 start in conference, like you mentioned, which is wonderful. But under Strickland, under the past couple of years, that's not been the story. They're 7-26 in conference play in the last 2 years before coming in today. That's 6-0 to start the season. Those numbers don't make a lot of sense. They don't add up. You look at this LIU team, absolutely rolling. They're winning as dogs. They're winning as favorites. It's a fun team. I like them, and just immediately I want to click them. You look at the number. You said it's a half-point move towards Long Island. I saw St. Francis open up as a favorite at some books last night. That made me want Long Island more. And then you see the flip through even and Long Island becoming the favorite. Generally, that's a red flag, and it really makes me want to just get on the team that just became the favorite. The books aren't trying to give away money. They do everything for a reason. And if you look at it, these two teams just played a week ago, and Long Island won. Since then, Long Island just lost one of their starters in their last game, and that's 3 players that are out of their rotation in their last 10 games. Even though they've won 6 games there, that's a lot of stepping up. That's a lot of minutes to try to replace. And we're not talking about a really deep team here. 6-0 has got to come to an end at some point. St. Francis, I mean, this is a team that wants to win. Rob Krimmel's been there a very long time. He played basketball at St. Francis. Probably not a lot of people know where St. Francis even is. This guy's been in that school since 1996, played there for 4 years, was on the staff for 12 years, and then took over as the head coach, and he's been there since. He's won this division. He's been the coach of the year in this division, and he knows what it takes to win here. And this is a one bid conference. He's not looking at the whole season. I got to win this game. I'm not trying to go 30-0. I'm trying to win that one big conference to get me into the big dance, and he's getting his team ready for the end of the season. if you look at this team, he's got some foreign players. He got help recruiting them from an old player. His name Devin Sweetney. He just brought him onto the program this year. And they got a guy from Australia and a guy from Spain on this team, and they're both starting and getting a lot of minutes. The guy from Australia, probably looking at could be a conference player of the year, and the guy from Spain actually played against Wemby in a Spanish national team game. I mean, these are real players coming into middle and nowhere basketball schools trying to get some of that NIL money. This is how they get NIL money. They get recognized, they play well, and they move up to the next level. Rob Kirmel's a great coach. I see this as one of those circled spots. Strickland, yeah, he's a great basketball player. He made the NBA, but 7-26 in conference play is going to show its head at some point this year. And 6-0, what better time for regression to hit than right now? That's my cap on the game, Jimmy.
I love it. I love it. Now, to help us look past the dog to favorite is Troy Torrance. If you are betting the flip from dog to favorite since January 1st in college basketball, you have a minus 64% ROI. That is helpful for me not to get too excited. That's so helpful. This is. I need CMAC to give us the stamp of approval, and we go to the window and make this bet. I love this. This is another situation too where you have the undefeated NEC team going up against a team that's 2-4 in conference, and it's a pick'em basically. I mean, it's just. Let's hear what CMAC has to say. Take it away. We are in Loretto, Pennsylvania for this one.
Yeah, it's like why isn't this not 3.5? Especially how hot LIU is. What winners in 9 straight? Or no, 6 straight. I thought it was more. But they've been playing great basketball if people want to hop on it. And they've been very good against the number. St. Francis has been tough to get a hold of for me this year. This has to be the spot. After 3 straight road games, they've lost 2 straight. They're the team. The numbers, one thing, LIU, which is it's helped them consistently throughout the year, especially the last month or two, they're better defensively, and that's been a trouble for St. Francis so far this year when I've been on them. This has to be a get-up game for them. They're a decent shooting team, too. I think it's bet on them or nothing in this game.
This is fitting. This is absolutely fitting for me.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
One thing when I was going through this St. Francis team that I really liked, they played a tough schedule. They played against Dayton, Maryland, Clemson, Penn State, and Georgetown. That Georgetown game, they played on the road. They were 1 point down at halftime. And just 1 point down at halftime to a really good Ed Cooley team is an impressive spot to be. They finished that game. They won the rebounding battle. They did a lot of things to take away from that maybe don't show everywhere, but I think the little wins there are what is going to allow them to win today. You play those big teams and you get the snot beat out of you. It hurts, but you get better.
No, great point. I love it. Barry Smith joining us on this spot. Mike Wilkerson on the other side. And I get why you would be. You have the undefeated team in conference. I mean, I imagine when we see the cash and the cash flow information, I imagine this will be 80.
Yeah, 80%. I mean, they're playing hot right now, LIU.
Yeah.
But nothing in the numbers except a little bit the defensive numbers is like kind of the only difference. Both these teams turn the basketball over. They both have like 14 turnovers a game, just about, which is right around the 300 mark. So
I love it. I love it. And again, Mike, good luck, man. We don't need to agree on things. It's just about getting the information out and then standing by your action. And then we put out all of our records so that there's all accountability. And again, we don't sell you anything. It's just how we work. So good luck, Mike. But a lot of us are going to be on the other side. I am one of them. I just popped Morgan Spooner's X handle there in the chat. Follow our guy Morgan Spooner, giving us St. Francis PA plus 1.5 at -110 and Kent State money line at plus 100. Tweeted those both out. Morgan, love you jumping on with us on these Fridays. Very, very fun. Love it, man. Get that cash. Thank you for rocking with us. Please support our guy, Spoondog. Morgan, any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Appreciate it, Jimmy. Good luck to everyone this weekend, especially Jose Bouquet. I hope the books absolutely just kick him out. Say, don't ever come back. You took too much money.
Love it.
It's not happening.
I love it.
It's not fucking happening, but
there he is, Morgan Spooner in the house. Okay, so we got to get back to work here, and we roll on. We have 3 games that I'll cap with CMAC, and then Wine Time joining us for the last 2. Let's roll. 7:30 p.m. Eastern with the St. Joseph's Hawks. We head to the A10 for this one. 12-7, 3-3 in conference. The Dayton Flyers, 13-6, also 3-3 in conference. UD Arena in Dayton, Ohio. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow for this spot. Oh, sorry, move back here. And okay, let's go. Line history wise, we have a Dayton right now minus 6.5. Juice towards them 6.5 and minus 111. This opened up at 5.5 at 6:13 p.m. last night. So we've now moved a full point towards Dayton. We'll get to the total here in this one. On the total, we have a 145, slightly juiced to the under. This opened up at 143.5. We've gone up a 1.5 to 145. That move happened about an hour and a half ago, but a pretty legit move towards the over. So we've had a 1-point move towards Dayton and a 1.5-point move towards the over. I think that we'll get, A10 conference should get some information. Yes, we do. Beautiful. So we have 58% of the tickets, but just 44% of the cash on Dayton. You have to think that line move is because cappers that are, respected here are on Dayton. 83% of tickets, 85% of cash on the over. Both teams sitting, mid-table in conference right now. This conference is led by George Mason. St. Joseph's won 2 of their last 3. They just on Tuesday beat up on Davidson. Beat them 78-61 at Davidson. It was a nice bounce back off that loss to VCU, who's second in the conference, tied with the Pelicans. Dayton's won 2 straight. They won at home in overtime over Loyola Chicago, who's had a disappointing start to the conference campaign. And then they destroyed Duquesne. They destroyed Duquesne in Duquesne, 82-62. That might be a little off-putting here because Duquesne's a good team. So Dayton just played phenomenal ball. They just shot 58.2 from the field and 56.5 from 3.
Both teams played well.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable here. Let's hear what CMAC has to say about this spot. Hawks, Flyers, Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, because they finally get off the bad losing streak, get that win, and then beat up Duquesne. Yeah, just unbelievable night. A little bit similar with St. Joe's. I mean, they just came out gangbusters. The Davidson team, I took the L, hadn't lost at home. St. Joe's hadn't beat them in over 10 years there. He just took it to their ass from start to finish. So when I look at this, I think Dayton, is the better squad. I can't lay 6.5 points with them. The struggles that they had in that 4-game streak, I don't know how much of that, because they came out of the year playing so well, and you always go back, are they for real? They snuck out a win against UNLV, a game they probably should have lost. And St. Joe's, though, has been just a team tough for me to figure out consistently, especially the last few years. And they're off just a great night at Davidson. Now they got to go on the road again after an ass kicking. I think it's just Dayton or nothing here spot. I just don't really want to lay 6.5, 7. What do you think?
Me, C-Mac, as the years go by of us capping together, I can't back a team that comes off shooting 58% from 3 in the field. I just not that I think that look, Conn clips. This is only the move on in college basketball. He's 5-0 in his plays of the day. He gets in at 5.5. It moves to 6.5. He has every right to be confident and bullish here, and but I can't expect. I always, and it's a tricky thing to say because you probably need to explain more than just one line. But I say don't believe what you see, and here I can't. But I can understand why Conn would be bullish here. So I get it here. Oh, okay. Sorry, this is not his play of the day. This is just a half unit on this one. Okay, that was great though. Fun game to talk out. I'm loving my card today. Yesterday I found such difficulty finding the card, and then I ended up with 3 bets, 1, and 1. Not today though. We'll see how it goes, but I'm loving the way my card's coming together here. We move on to a big one. The number 21 ranked Michigan Wolverines, 14-4, 6-1 in the Big Ten. The number 11 ranked Purdue Boilermakers, 15-5, 7-2 in the Big Ten West. Lafayette, Indiana, Mackey Arena will be going off tonight. And the stacks play of the day, the over 151.5. We have our first stacks play of the day.
Stacks.
We also have BJ's best bet in college basketball, Michigan plus 4.5. It is a 5-unit spot for him. Now he's going to have to go up against Rogue Energy, who is on Purdue. So a very, very exciting spot here on the board for us to cap. This is the big one. Now, Villanova Marquette is a big one as well, but this is a big one. We watched the Wolverines bounce back on Sunday. Well, bounce back of sorts. I mean, they lose in overtime at Minnesota. They need overtime to beat Northwestern at home. I guess that doesn't qualify as a bounce back spot. 9.5-point favorites. You need overtime to get the job done. You're down 5 at the half. They shot 36.1 from the field and 25.9 from 3. So, not shooting the ball well at all. Golden still goes for 31, but even and 9 of 16 from the field. I mean, this team shot 22 of 61 from the field. So easy math there. They went. Everybody not named Vladislav Golden went 13 for 45 from the field. Everybody not named Vladislav Golden went 4 of 21 from 3. They sucked, except for the aforementioned Vladislav Golden. So Michigan not playing well in back-to-back games here. And now they have to head to West Lafayette, a very difficult spot to play against an angry Purdue team that just lost at home to the Buckeyes. And that was only the 3rd victory in 8 conference games for the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes shot really well, but still, you turn the ball over 18 times, you'd think Purdue would take care of business. Purdue was also way ahead in this basketball game. They were up 27-13 with 6 minutes, 41 seconds left. And then all of a sudden, Purdue's up. Purdue was ahead, a minute into the... God, Purdue came back so fast. Oh, sorry. Ohio State came back so fast. Ohio State took the lead there with 5 minutes into the third. So that was a very, very, very interesting spot here. Does Purdue bounce back from that ugly? This market must be screaming Michigan for BJ to make this a best bet. Let's take a look at this market. We have this total at 151.5. It is juiced to the under at minus 113. Opened up at 150, so it hasn't moved. It did drop to 150.5, went up to 152.5, but now we've got a market that really hasn't moved. When we get to the point spread here for this one, we have Purdue now just minus 3.5. Wow. Opened up at 4.5, so we have a 1-point move towards the Wolverines. God, this one scares me. Just 42% of the tickets in cash on Michigan, the line moving towards them. 83% tickets, 86% cash on the over. Wow, I can't wait to hear this breakdown. Take it away for us, C-Mac, Wolverines, Boilermakers in Indiana.
Yeah, I think people see that there's some value here in Michigan. A team that's been pretty good. They've been good on the road so far this year, 3-1 against the number. And can they continue? It's like they've been so athletic. And they've scored the ball so well because this is a team that turns it over. I think they're right around 338, about 15 turnovers a game, does Michigan. But they keep, winning games and covering. Here, the biggest thing is Purdue's finally off a loss at home. They won 25 straight there. You talked about kind of just dying down the stretch, losing it there. So I think people think there's some value here with Michigan. I kind of see both sides. Like, I think Purdue at least comes out here well and shoots the three well. See, in talking about Michigan, the turnovers, but they're good too. Like, they've been good on the glass. There's a few other, like, they're 21st in rebounding. Purdue's all the way down where they were tops, of course, with Edie last year at 134. This should be a really good basketball game. This one was tough. I kind of saw both sides of this game.
You know what? I love what Stacks is on. I love what BJ's on, but I don't feel comfortable here. This one just makes me so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. I can understand the market is intimating that Michigan is in this off of back, 2 bad games. But can you fade Purdue off of a home loss?
Yeah, I don't want to. And Michigan's been good in this series. Numbers are all different, but, in those games. But they've kind of had their number, whether they've covered and lost or they've beat them outright the last, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I'm going to cheer on BJ. This one, the bum fights are much more appealing to me here than these monsters going toe-to-toe off of losses. I'll cheer vicariously. I can understand the look on Michigan, but I cannot fade Purdue off of a home loss. Oh, BJ, I can't fade Purdue off of a home loss. But I'm not going to be on the other side of you. I got to let this one go. Okay. But King TL saying don't overlook Michigan here. Troy Torrance on Michigan. Look, I love that. And I'll keep studying it. I mean, I've got it written down, the best bet from BJ. So, I always go over your action a second time after the show, which I do with all you guys. But so helpful. I love hearing the best bets. I love hearing it. Let's roll on. We got one game left before we're joined by Wine Time Sports. And we head to Richmond, Virginia, home of our friend Smoke and Mears. Let's go. Home of La Possum. My favorite restaurant. Might be my favorite restaurant in America. Walk in there, Richmond, Virginia. Looks like an opium den. Fucking so dope, man. All right, let's roll here. We have a very interesting situation with two very strong basketball teams. Now, the Bonnies have had their struggles in conference, but they're still 15-5. They're coming off of 2 straight losses. They lose at Duquesne. Duquesne is good. I mean, I know that Duquesne's coming off an ugly loss, and then they lose to George Mason, who's on top of this conference. That was on Tuesday. They lose to George Mason. So quick turnaround for them. They lose 75-62 at home. They shoot the ball poorly, 39.7 from the field and 31.6 from 3. They were favorites in that basketball game, just 1.5, but still favorites. And we're down 14 at the break. Not looking good. Taking on VCU, that's just winning. Last 2 wins were on the road. Now they play back home. This is a tough place to play. They didn't shoot the ball very well. This was they won this game 81-57. This was a 42-40 game with 15 minutes left in the second half. They just completely took over the game, which they do often. I mean, this team just kind of beats you down, breaks down your will.
Yeah.
VCU is tough. So both teams so there's no rest advantage. Both teams, VCU played on Friday, then St. Bonaventure played on Saturday, and then again on Tuesday for both of these squads. Let's take a look at the line history. Rogue Energy says VCU are no bet. Bonnies are 12-point dogs. It just feels like a little much, but there's been no line movement. It's gone 1 cent towards the Bonnies. 1 cent. Let's get to the total here in this one. We have a 134 juice to the over. This opened up at 135.5. It's really a 134.5, but we're moving towards the under. And I hope to get some cash flow information here, and we do. 43% of the tickets are on VCU and 62% of the cash. 89 and 90% on the over. So let's roll here. Let's roll. And shout out to Rick J. It says when you lost weight from eating better and earlier, made me want to do the same because Rick J is 45, I'm 44. Been eating dinner and lowering sodium intake since last summer. Lost 55 pounds. 55. Great job, Rick J.
Nice.
That's great, man. Choosing life. Wanting to live a long, healthy life.
Choosing life. I like
Choosing
that.
life. Yeah.
I choose life.
Yeah, man. That's what it is. Great job, Rick. I'm proud of you, and it's inspiring. And people need to hear it in the chat because I fell apart over the football season. Everything stopped, and I've been saying to everyone, I'm going to go to the gym today, this afternoon. I need to say it out loud, so I actually do it. Take it away. This is a huge game in Richmond, Virginia. Bonnie's Rams. Take it away, C-Mac.
Yes, someone pot. There should, I don't think more goes here. I think Edwards will be out again. I mean, he's a pretty good piece. He scores 11 or 12. I don't think he's going to play either in this game. I mean, that's why the line is here. Can they do enough? Obviously, without them, it's shown. They've had trouble scoring the basketball, Jimmy. But I'm tempted with them out that this is a ton of points. VCU, like you talked about, just wearing teams down, their length, they're good low, they're good rebounding team. A little bit of revenge. They lost here, at St. Bonaventure when they were more, healthy about 25 days ago? 77-75. I think they win here. You know what? I also looked at this game. I think this is an under or nothing. I wanted to go through it a little bit more, and there's a lot of money already on the over, right?
Yeah, about 90% of tickets in cash.
Yeah, I think this is an under spot. Maybe even a St. Bonaventure team total under with who they have out. So I wanted to look at that a little bit more just to make sure, that they're out, which I think they are. But that could be a move for me.
Okay, well, perfect. Set up. So let me know if we move on.
Yeah.
Here. Again,
I want St. Bonaventure. Just seems like a shit ton of points.
It seems like the situation where the books are putting out a number where they expect people to find it very appealing and move on it. And we already see the bigger bets on VCU, which means I would prefer not to be involved in it here. Unfortunately, make sure I need to have late night action. So maybe we have it coming up in
next. I got bets in these couple of games here.
Oh, beautiful. Well, and you moved on one under and you're close to
more.
Under 145. That we're going to see if that can be 146 before we go. So yeah, no worries here. Again, it's the info that we need the most. So let's roll on and bring on our next guest. He'll be capping the NBA card with us. He's got best bets here. Well, he's got a best bet in our next game, and it's a huge game in the Big Ten with two underachieving basketball teams. Then he's going to stick around with the Bruins Husky spot. Maybe he's got to look on the Bruins here. He's been handling the Bruins very well this one. So let's roll and bring on our next guest. Just had a phenomenal college football season. And now we've moved on to college basketball and the NBA. Please welcome from Los Angeles, California. You can hang out with him at the Pubapalooza 4 Festival. God, I can't wait for Pubapalooza 4. Please welcome our guy and yours, Wine Time Sports. Wine Time, what's good, man? How are you?
Jimmy the Bag, C-Mac. Good to be here with you guys, man. Per usual on a Friday, man. And yeah, I'm excited for Pubapalooza 4. It's going to be a good time. Last year was a blast. This year I feel like it's going to be even better, which is crazy. So I'm looking forward to it, guys.
I know it's going to be better because it gets better every year because you start knowing exactly how to make it work.
Oh, yeah. It's magic too. It's just like you walk into that bar, man. It's like a sports bar. It's a bar on the other side. There's a studio. All the boys are in there, man. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone's got their laptops out, capping the games for the next day. For that day, it's a blast, man.
Yeah, no, I think I got to lower my excitement so that I'm not just destroyed the whole time. Let's roll. We got a big one here in the Big Ten. Penn State Nittany Lions 13-6, just 3-5 in conference so far to start the year. At the Iowa Hawkeyes 12-7, also just 3-5 in conference. We're at Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, Iowa. Penn State finally got put an end to their losing streak, and it was an ugly one. This is a team that lost by 39 points at Illinois on the 8th of January. Then lost to Oregon by a point at home. Then looked pretty well. Michigan State is, very good basketball team. So losing 90-85 at Michigan State there's no harm in that. And then we saw them again on Monday at home, stopping their losing streak, beating Rutgers 80-72. They won 80-72. They just covered. They were it closed at 7.5. They shot 49 from the field and 47.6 from three, and they had to because they were getting badly out rebounded. Is that what Penn State? Is that how does Penn State have to shoot 50% from the field, 50% from three to win a basketball game? Now you have the Iowa Hawkeyes who desperately are seeking the stop to their 3-game losing streak. They lose at USC 99-89. Follow that up 3 days later with getting demolished at UCLA 94-70. That was last week. Of course, Wine Time was on UCLA. That was last Friday. And then at home versus Minnesota, they lose 72-67. I mean, is that the low point in their season? They shot 14.3% from three and lose by 5 as 8.5-point favorites. And, they were losing all game. So, the final score was okay, but with 7 minutes left, they were down 15. So they looked horrible. They've now looked awful, 3 games in a row. So let's take a look at the line history. We'll start with Wine Time here and then close with CMAC. This is the best bet spot. Very high total, as one would guess. We have a 167.5. This opened up at 169, and it is juiced to the under. So it's moving towards the under. On the point spread here, we have Iowa minus 3.5 at minus 107. They opened up at minus 3. This was at 6:13 p.m. last night. It gets to 3.5. Then it gets to 4. This was at 4 this morning. We come back a half point at the 3.5. It is slightly juiced towards Penn State, but we've had a half-point move towards the Hawkeyes. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 62% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on Iowa. I wonder if it's changing. I wonder what it was a few hours ago. Maybe, you know what? I'm sure one time you could probably tell me what it was last night. Because it's now 62 and 66. On the total, it's a 50-50 proposition. 57% cash on the under. We've seen it drop 1.5. Wine Time Sports. Here we go. Big Ten action in Iowa City. Floor is yours.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a good game in Iowa City, guys. Fran McCaffrey kind of taking some heat as he should the last 3 games. Tough loss at home to Minnesota, man. You can't lose that game to Minnesota. Minnesota's kind of like it's one of your rivals. They come into your own home court, take you out as dogs, beat you outright. Iowa had a chance to win that game late. Crazy comeback, but they couldn't end up completing it. Penn State coming off a big win, is their first win in quite some time. Iowa, man, they got these 2 forwards over there. Sanford and Freeman, man, both these guys, 16 to 18 points apiece. These guys are going to eat, I think, at home against this Penn State team. Penn State's got a really good point guard over there, and Ace Baldwin. Watch out for him. I do think he's probably going to most likely sign an NBA contract at some point. This guy's really talented. He's got 8 assists. I think he's averaging like 16 points a game, something like that. Around those stats. I know he's got 8 assists, but he's their best player by far. I know they're going to key in on him and kind of shut him down, probably double team him and blitz him and press him a little bit. This is going to be a very hostile environment at Iowa City. They need this win, guys. They've lost 3 straight. Like I said, we talked about this game, one of the Big Ten games a couple of days ago. Cap, both these teams, Iowa, they still want to get into that tournament. I'm not saying they're going to, but they need this win here at home to feel good about themselves coming off back-to-back losses. They've got the forwards that should eat down low for them. I don't think Penn State's going to have enough, and I think Iowa, like I think Troy said, this is going to be a blowout in Iowa City, man. I think this is going to be a 10-point win for them. I think 3.5 points. You can get whatever number you can get. I almost took it at 4 this morning, ended up not waiting, and until it came on the show, ended up moving to a 3.5, moved on it, gave it out officially on Twitter. It's still at a 3.5, I believe, right now. We'll see where this line ends up going. I do hope to see it back at a -4, 4.5 here in the next couple hours. But this is a big-time game. It's Friday night in Iowa. They need this game here. Everyone's going to show out for this one. It's a conference game. Very winnable game. All of this talent from Iowa, too. All these guys come from Iowa, and they've been brought up there. They wanted to go to school here, and they're prideful. So they're going to take pride in this game because this is a very much winnable game. probably by double digits, as I said. So give me Iowa -3.5 all day here.
Whew. Wow. And the respect play of the day, Iowa first half -2. Let's hear from Conor Mac in this big one in the Big Ten. Take it away.
Yeah, I think this game, I'd like to see it. Maybe get to 5, but I don't think it gets further than that. I think they're going to shoot the ball way better here at home. I looked at it too. I don't want to back them, but these are spots I have to back them at home. 3 straight losses. I know Nebraska got us the other day. That shit happens. But this spot, I think similar. I think, Sanford, some of these other guys are going to love it way better here. Like you talked about on a Friday night. Penn State's been playing a lot better. These teams mirror each other a little bit. While they shoot the ball and how they are defensively. Penn State's looked a little bit better on the road, but this is a team I want to fade on the road. So I like Iowa. I was looking at them first half. I don't want to lay the 2. And just digging through everything consistently, they've covered it more than not. But at times they've been, their teams are down by a point or two, and they come back and have massive second half. So I got to go full game here. Give me them -3.5 just to play a half to make. Come on, let's get it.
I like it. I'd like to be involved with this with you guys. I hear Troy's adding the first half with Res Mob, which I get. I don't want to. I'd prefer not. I have a big enough card where I'd not double up on any spots here. It feels like I either got to double up on all of them or none of them. We have a -3.5 available right now. -3.5 available, -107. And we have Wine Time tweeted out the -3.5 as well. So Iowa minus. I mean, this is a spot where I don't hate that there's 62% of tickets and 66% of the cash.
That's what I was saying. I don't like the market in this one. Looking at like the tickets and stuff like that. Sorry to interrupt you, Jim. But this is a must win for Iowa at home for McCaffrey. I heard it was press conference this week as well. They need this game, and coming back at home. They just lost at home. A lot of people are kind of. Some people on social media are calling for his job in a way. I'm not saying they're going to fire him, but he needs this win here. And no better way to do it at home on a Friday night. These guys are going to come into your building. You can't lose back-to-back at home to 2 winnable. They should have beat Minnesota. Should beat Penn State right here. These are 2 winnable games. They're going to take care of business here.
This is the line too that they didn't. I wasn't on it with Minnesota, at least on the side, but like Indiana and Nebraska, similar. Those lines were 4 and 5. They win big at home, Jimmy. By 10 and 25 in those 2. I think it's similar. Yeah.
I like it. DC Capper play today number 2 on Iowa -3.5 as well. We have our guy Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. What up, Dutch? Giving a shout out to Wine Time for NBA plan of attack yesterday. CMAC on Iowa -3.5. We're gonna give CMAC the -107. Wine Time, did you tweet that out at -110?
Yes, sir.
I'm interested in joining you. I don't think what's wrong with the market here.
No, there's nothing. I don't think.
It's not that. 62% of the tickets, 66% of cash. So at least you have a little bit more of the money.
Yeah.
It's not overly. It's not like so public that you need to be concerned. And then when you go to the books that put this line out the earliest, this line was put out at 12:23 p.m. by the book, the offshore we used to play our poker tournaments at. Within 10 minutes, they moved it a full point to 3.5. Now, at that point, you wanted to always, either stay at 3.5 or move to 4. It did go back to 3 for a little bit, but then this 3.5 at 9:03 this morning was -120. So now it's come back 9 cents. But this isn't a red flag market to me. This isn't. I'm very.
I'd be shocked if it goes to 3. I think it goes to 4. By the end by 10. You know what I mean? That's where I think it.
That's where I want it to go. Yeah, 4.5. But if it gets to a 4, I'll be happy. If it goes to a 3. Might be a little bit worried, but I'm not even worried about it, honestly, because like I said, this is a must-win for Iowa for this coach. He knows this. He can't make any mistakes like he did not calling that timeout with 30 seconds to go when they were down, I think, 3 points in the last game against Minnesota at home. Kind of got some heat for that too. So I think he's going to have a good game plan. They're going to execute it, and his players are going to go out there and play for their coach here. These kids are prideful. They're going to go out there and take care of business at home.
I love it. I love it. This card is, and you need to have a college basketball card tonight 3 games in NBA, 4 in NHL. This is the meat and the potatoes. Let's roll into our final game on the board here. What a great job C-Mac has done anchoring the college basketball segment. We have UCLA Bruins. Our guy, Wine Times, UCLA Bruins, 13-6, 4-4 in conference. Coming off back-to-back wins at home. The Iowa was a smash and grab. Then they beat Wisconsin 85-83 on Tuesday. And they head out on the road, but at least they stay on the West Coast to face a Huskies team that is falling apart at the seams. Losers of 5 straight. Now, they opened up with that win, at home over Maryland, but since then, it has gone south for them in the Big Ten. They lose 82-71 at Oregon. There's not that much shame in that. Their last home game was against Purdue. I mean, look, they played against 5 ranked teams. I mean, that's, Illinois, Michigan State, Michigan, Purdue, and Oregon, and they put up 5 L's. They only lose by 4 to Illinois at home, and then on the road, they get destroyed by Michigan State, look a little bit better against Michigan, but lose by 16. Then they lose by 11 to Purdue at home, and then lose at Oregon. Is it an angry team losing badly? Let's get into the line history here for this spot. And then, again, and Wine Time and C-Mac will touch on it, but do we trust UCLA on the road? I mean, we watched them lose by 18 against the middling Terp squad. We watched them lose to 7 at Rutgers. We know Rutgers is better, in their barn than when they head out onto the road. Let's get into the line history. We have the Huskies right now, +5, -109. My favorite backcourt in college basketball history. I even say Huskies, and all I think about Brandon Roy, Nate Robinson. I mean, there's never it's as fun a backcourt as you'll get in college basketball. This line has not moved. There at one point there was a half-point move to UCLA, but it's come back. Had a 1 cent move towards the Huskies, a team that's lost 5 straight games. From a total scenario, we have a 138.5 -115 to the under. This is sorry, it's not giving me the. Here we go. So that's where it opened. There's been a 5 cent move to the under. It's not moved off that number. And when we get to the cash flow, you have 56% of tickets and 66% of the cash that want the Huskies at home. Now that's a little surprising here. That's a little surprising. Talk about your UCLA Bruins. Wine Time.
Yeah, interesting matchup here. Earlier, when I was capping this game, I originally wanted to be on UCLA here minus the 5.5. I see right now it's dropping at 4.5, 5 at some places right now. Man, UCLA, some impressive wins at home, especially against Wisconsin. Mick Cronin, I think it was the first time I saw him smile in a press conference this week in weeks. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing for this team here, heading on the road to Washington, a team that's just absolutely hungry for wins right now. And seeing this market move a little bit, I'm looking right now, see what my book's giving me. I want to be on Washington now all of a sudden in this spot, but I don't want to be on them on the spread. I want to be on the money line here with all this value being at home. This is a must-win game for them. I know UCLA is coming off some impressive wins, but this team heading on the road, I just don't know how I feel about them. They've got a good team, man. Kobe Johnson playing some really good defense over there, not really scoring. Dylan Andrews, really good point guard over there, really playing well these last couple games. I'm just not sure if this team – let's see what this line is right now. My book right now has a 4.5 for Washington. That must have changed within the last 30 to 45 minutes since I've been on screen with you guys. It was 5.5 on mine. I want Washington after looking over this game. Crazy enough, I think I want Washington plus the 180 on the money line here, being on the road. UCLA coming off some really big wins. Mick Cronin kind of like toning it down a little bit. Like I said, he was smiling in his press conference. He seemed a little more relaxed. I don't know if that's really how he should be right now. We'll see. I'm not going to make it official yet. I'm going to hear what the chat has to say and hear what C-Mac has to say about this and read it a little bit more. But I'm really leaning towards the Huskies on the money line plus 180 here with all that value being at home.
It makes a ton of sense to me. I can't wait to hear C-Mac's breakdown. I mean, I wonder if, and C-Mac, you can touch it, are you surprised that 56% of the tickets and 66% of cash is on the Huskies here? I think you can say with 4,488 tickets in that the public really hasn't gotten involved yet. I mean, couldn't you say on a?
Yeah.
8 o'clock game here on the West Coast too. No one's
Yeah.
gonna be getting this game till 5 p.m. over here.
Yeah.
This is
C-Mac, take it away.
yeah. This was. I want to say I like the move because I think this is Washington or no bet. One thing our guy Morgan put in the chat. Cronin knows how to handle this. He's gone there consistently and won and covered. Like, throughout the years. Even Washington's been solid at home, and we've seen that this year. Some not covers like Purdue, some of these games, and other ones where they kept it to a 4 or 5 point game. They even beat Maryland. Then they have the stinker like against Seattle and some of these other teams. That's just the one thing. And Osborne, he's it. And he's got to score 25 a night. And if he's off, there's a real struggle here for Washington. UCLA still has the better defense, and it's kind of gone out the window a little bit lately. At least they've been scoring those last couple games at home. But I think it gets ratcheted up here. I think this game still goes over. Like, Washington needs to get up and down to win a game. I mean, they're just not a team that's going to win it in the 60s. That means they shoot the ball fucking bad and they lose. So, I was looking a little bit at the over and Washington. I like the move to them, but I got to sit with this one a little bit.
Now, when it's a very important point brought up here from the Juice talking about when these teams met. I mean, these teams met back on December 3rd, but in that game, Washington was horrific. 18.8 from 3, 38.8 from the field, and they were in that game. It was a very ugly first half.
Yeah.
They were, it was just an ugly game. But UCLA opened as 13.5 point favorites and closed as 11.5 point favorites.
Wow.
That's a huge. So now we're dealing with a 5. At that time, when they went into that game, both teams were 6-1. At that time, is that too big of a swing? And is it? I mean, we're talking. You know what? It's. I feel like this is sort of set up for people to back UCLA. Such a low number, watching them beat these two great teams. Now go out on the road. Now, if Spoon is right, it's old school pack 12 road game. Cronin knows how to handle it, but I don't see how we're not on the Huskies here.
I mean, think about this, Jimmy. I mean, Wisconsin made 15 threes against UCLA. Anthony Morrow was 7 of 7 from the field. Mac 6 of 12 off the bench. These guys balled out last game. Now they got to go on the road to a team, Washington, that's not playing well right now. We're seeing this number go down to a 4.5. I think it tells us everything we need to know. I'm going to move right now on the Washington money line plus 180 here. I'm going to give it out officially. I either think UCLA beats these guys by double digits or Washington wins this game outright, and I'm going to get some value at plus 180 with Washington right now, being at home. They're going to want this game. UCLA coming into town feeling great about themselves. Cronin feeling a little bit better about himself. Don't get me wrong, UCLA's firing on all cylinders right now, but I've seen this, and they're due for some digression here. So I think Washington wins this game outright. So I'm going to move on to guys. Washington Huskies at home, plus 180 on the money line officially here.
Oh, this is a very fun spot. C-Mac, you want last words on the spot before we move on to NBA, man?
No, I think we're good. I just got to sit with it. I want Washington too. I stayed off against Purdue. The game was close. Like, they barely covered. Will this be enough? Everything to me, it's Huskies here pass.
So, C-Mac, sit on these spots as well. We're going to go over them. If you decide to move on them, just send me a text. I'll tweet it out, and we'll make it official here. At this point,
well, give me the under. Give me Iowa.
Yeah, we've got those locked in. Let's see if we can beat that number here that we were talking about. So we got you the under 155. Sorry, where the hell is it? Under 145.5 minus 108 in the Kent State Ohio Bobcats game. And that number is better than anything available right now. It's
okay. That's good. This thing might start going down.
It looks like it's going to go down. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna wait. I'll text you about Lemoyne and Washington.
Perfect. Great work. So let's just do a quick review here of action before. Oh, and then for well, I'm going to do the review. So why don't you, Chang Kim wanting a spot from each of us. Again, it doesn't need to be on the spread because it's a parlay, and I'm giving him a minus 220 spot. So it can be any however you want to handle it. He's going to parlay our spots together. Gravy Bets is on Toledo, but we did not move on that one. Ron Crawford, NCAA play of the day is Villanova. I want the under in Wagner Mercyhurst. I see that the lines continue to move towards Mercyhurst. Going to take a little bit of time on that. I want Chicago State. I have first half full game here, but I do not. I've got enough action where I don't need to double up and pick the spots that are more confident. I don't think that makes sense for me here. Lemoyne, I want. Northern Kentucky, I want. Now, the cash flow information is going to be coming out here, and I want it to correlate. And if it doesn't correlate, I'll be uncomfortable. Spoon Dog is on St. Francis of Pennsylvania. I really love the breakdown and want to join them there. Spoon Dog's on Kent State. I want to study that a little longer. C-Max on that under 145.5. St. Joseph's Dayton, we stayed off, but Kong's Clips running in college basketball. He's on Dayton minus 5.5. He's 5-0 right now in his best bets here. North End is just starting to love this college basketball card. Same here. I'm starting to love it. Justin McKelvey stacks play today. Number 2 is Purdue over 151.5, but we didn't move on that game or the St. Bonaventure VCU game, but the Jews moving on the Bonnies plus 11.5. And then both our cappers on Iowa, and I want to join them. Troy bullish on Iowa, and the Respect play today from Res Mob is Iowa first half minus 2, minus 115. Wine Time moving on the Huskies, money line plus 190. I'm going to want them on the spread, and we'll see if CMAC moves on them as well. CMAC, excellent work. I'm going to pop your X handle in the chat. Please support our guy CMAC here. Now that the Hitting the Books Mondays football is not in season, CMAC going to be on Medicate Mondays here, rocking with the boys. So I'm going to pop his X handle here in the chat. Please support our guy. CMAC, any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
No, let's fucking win. Let's just fucking win. Shout out to the chat. I love you guys as always. Get to the NBA. I'll text you. I'm just going to sit with it for a little bit here, those last two, because I'm close here on Lemoyne as well. And to Chang Kim, it's if he wants Iowa. I lay it the 3.5. I mean, that's what I'm on. He could go money line if he wants, like you were talking about the parlay. But lay it.
I love it. So for Chang, that would be a Jets, Iowa, and he could money line parlay that, or you could take the Jets money line and Iowa. Now, if your books, there's so many different ways, or Iowa minus 3. If you wanted to go for the big score, I wouldn't do that with the whole. Maybe you want to do that with 25%. You could take the Jets on the puck line and Iowa minus 3.5. There's lots of different ways to do it, but it's Jets and Iowa from us here. All right, it's time to get into NBA. You had a lot more good than bad. I had 9 bets in NBA. I'm going to be capping basketball now. On Saturdays, Sundays, not just NHL. This is the time of year where now look, I'm always going to love NHL, and I've not delivered to the extent that I hope to and I expect to, and I'm going to destroy tomorrow's NHL card and hammer that. But I'm really enjoying capping basketball, and I really, as tricky as the NBA is, I love it. Now it's easy for me to say that with only 3 games on the card. When there's 12, it's a fucking battle. North Enders bet the Hornets. I find them very appealing. We got Philly Eagle Flyer, Joe Walsh Jets Stars moneyline parlay. I like that. Philly Eagle Flyer Stars Jets Lightning money lines flying double chance in regulation. I like that too. Let's get to work, my friend. Let's get to work. Now, the last time you were with us, Wine Time, board sweepage on 2 moneyline dogs, man.
Let's go, baby. Yeah, yesterday too, Jim. I took the Raptors and the Spurs both on the money line, gave them out officially plus 145, plus 150. Raptors squeaked that out. But shout out to them, man. What a first half. I like that they're finally starting to get healthy. I like that team. I like them. We'll see what they do.
Nice. A coin with a nice start, 22-13 in NBA. I went 3-6 yesterday. It was ugly. So now look, I bet those 2 unders in Paris. So I started the day behind the 8 ball. Then the Nuggets double up, cashed. I was fortunate for the full game. Bulls money line. I could have just been on them early, but I wanted
They're
them
20-4 to start the game.
Lakers were in business from the jump. And then Heat plus 6.5. I could have bet that better. And then Wizards first half full game. Look, I was wrong. That's all. I was just fucking wrong. They almost backdoor covered it still.
Yeah.
Those fucking assholes.
Jim, I kid you not, when I watched that basketball game on Tuesday night against the Lakers, I've never seen a worse basketball team play in my life. Like all the wide open shots at the rim that were just missed. It was actually kind of crazy. I was like, wow, Lakers should have won this game by 50 points. Like Wizards are just that team is going nowhere fast.
Another thing here that's very important is birthday bets here. Now, Joe Walsh, I don't know if you want to parlay these, my man. I don't know what you want to do, but it'd be the same thing. Now, we could have the individual birthday bets, and we'll get a wine time birthday bet for Joe Walsh. Happy birthday, Joe, and thank you so much for rocking with us. All right, it's time to talk NBA, and I'm pumped up. Irish King says, let's go NBA time. It is a relief. Only 3 games. Last night was like, oh, God, fucking battle. Like the battles that we face every single night. I don't know how anybody could watch a TV show or a movie when the roller coaster ride that starts at 7 p.m. and ends at, oh, good God. All right, let's roll. 7 p.m. Eastern with the Portland Trailblazers, 16-28, 7-16 on the road at the Charlotte Hornets, 11-29, 7-13 at home at Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. I got to spend time with these games, and I'm really excited to cap them. I haven't moved on any of them yet. We'll start with the spread here. Charlotte, minus 5.5. They open up at minus 5. It drops to 4.5 early this morning, gets back to 5, and it's not a 5. It's minus 5 at minus 115 right now. So it is like a 5.5. This is saying that this just moved a minute ago. Maybe it'll show up here. Maybe it'll show up now that it just moved to 5.5. It did. It just moved to 5.5 2 minutes ago. So it's a 5.5 for legit minus 106 towards the Hornets, whom I want in this one. From a total standpoint, we have a 222. It's minus 108 to the over. This opened up at 222 and it dropped down to 220. This was at 220 this morning and has come back to 221, but we still have a 1 point move to the under. With a half-point move towards Charlotte, 1 point move towards the under. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. From a cash flow standpoint, we have 45% of the tickets and 50% of cash on the Charlotte Hornets. So it's implied sharp action that's moving the line. 72% of the tickets and 65% of cash on the over. Portland and Charlotte, both 3-2 over the past 5. Portland playing at the 19th fastest pace, 99 possessions a game. This is a Portland team that's dealing with injuries. It's dealing with some sickness going through. And we'll make sure we'll get to the bottom of it. And we start with Scoot. He had 5 straight double-digit games. He played 14 minutes last night and scored 4 points. So he's not well. Let's set this one up here. Let's get into the line history here for this. Oh, sorry. Let's get into the cash flow. Did I know? 28% of the tickets and 35% of cash on the under, and it's 50-50-ish on the spread. The Portland Blazers shooting 45.5 from the field and 31.4 from 3. They're shooting very poorly from 3. They have been shooting better at times. We have the shoot-arounds already taken place, so let's see if we can get any last-minute information, which will be so important here for these Blazers. So we have an absolute mess. So we know that Ayton's out, and Williams and Thibault are out. So then it becomes Simons as the issue. Probable. Okay, so Simons probable. That's a relief. You certainly don't want to go in without him. Now, Klingon is a game-time decision. He was listed, and now he's probable. Okay, so he's missed 5 straight games with the left ankle sprain. So you're not going to have Ayton, but you're going to have Klingon back. That's important. Avdia, of course, going to be there. And then Kamara is probable. So, he played yesterday despite being sick. And we talked about that sickness going through. So here we go. Let's roll and set this one up. Charlotte shooting the ball really well, playing at a fast pace. 7th fastest in the NBA, 101 possessions a game. Wasn't that fast a year ago, but this year and slowed down a little bit. 47% from the field and 37.2 from three. Portland comes in off second half of back-to-back, winning their 3rd straight game last night, 101-79 at Orlando. Simons went for 21. They had 5 Blazers in double figures. Hornets coming off having their 3-game winning streak snapped, a 132-120 loss at Memphis on Wednesday. Mark Williams went for 38. That ties the 3rd most ever by a Charlotte Hornets center. It's crazy. 14-18 from the field, obviously getting a lot more run with Nick Richards not being there. LaMelo had a streak of 4 straight games of 9 or more assists snapped. He only had 6 assists in Memphis. Miles Bridges stepping up 20 or more in 6 of the last 8 games. And he's stepping up because there's no Brandon Miller. So you have 2 players on the Hornets who are thriving with more time, in Mark Williams and Miles Bridges. Now Seth Curry, sprained right ankle. Who cares? But Bridges lower back spasms, and then important here because we got a lot of these teams on the first half of back-to-back. This is the first of a back-to-back for the Hornets. They host the Pelicans, so it's a non-travel back-to-back. Take it away for us here, my man. Blazers. Hornets in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, I think it was last Friday when we gave out Hornets on the money line at plus, I think it was whatever it was, good plus money here. Now they're taking on the Blazers. Blazers playing some good basketball last 3 games, winning. I was on them plus the spread yesterday against Orlando Magic. Absolute smash spot. Took care of business easily. On a back-to-back here, heading to Charlotte, though, Jim. I circled this game last night. I saw a 3-game card, and I wanted one game that I absolutely wanted to hammer. This is a 2-unit play for me. We gave it out here as 1, but I'm on the Charlotte Hornets minus the 5. I love that it's at a 5.5 now. I got the minus 110, gave it out on Twitter right before I came on here. I think the Hornets are going to smash these guys. I think this is going to be like a 10 to 15-point win here. I think LaMelo Ball's going to have a huge game here. I'm looking at his over 31.5 points as well. Not going to give that out officially because it's not a full unit play. But I think Hornets take care of business here. I think it's a rough spot for Portland. They're feeling good about themselves. 3 straight wins here. Hornets playing some good ball. They got Bridges. They got Melo. They got Williams playing some good ball. He played really good in that game last Friday as well. I remember we kind of I didn't really know him too well. When we were talking about him, I was like, I don't even know who this guy is really. And he was balling out there, getting boards, cleaning those boards up for points, man. Had a good game. Plays with a lot of heart out there. These Hornets want to start playing well towards the end of the season. They've got some young guys in there. Bridges can ball. He can definitely put the ball in the bucket at any point, man. The guy can hit threes. He can drive to the bucket. We know LaMelo is going to take a million shots. We just got to hope that he hits a lot of those from 3, which I think he will here being at home Friday night. Give me the Hornets here, Jim. -5, -110 all day long here. I think this is I don't care what the spread is. They're going to beat these guys by 10 plus here.
I agree completely, but it's not a spot where you can take first half and full game.
No, I will stay away from the first half. This is a full game spot, I think, for the Hornets.
Yeah.
That's going to be my birthday pick for Joe Wall. Shout out to you, my guy. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great birthday. It's on a Friday. Enjoy it. Have a drink, have a smoke, whatever you like to do. Enjoy time with the family. Throw that bet on the Hornets -5. If you only get a 5.5, I still absolutely love the 5.5.
Absolutely.
Don't wait until it's a 6. Just get the 5.5 and take it.
I'm right with you. I am right with you. I'm right with you. Now Portland shooting the ball. No, they haven't been shooting the ball over the last 5 games, well, but in the last couple of games they shooting the ball better. Ayton's not playing. Robert, he's out. I'm right with you. I'm not going to take this. Isn't as I said, double up spot just because you have the rest advantage with the Hornets. You have Portland with travel, sickness, all these things. Even if, Simons and a couple of these guys who are shooting the ball nice or better step up early. This is also a spot where a live bet on the Hornets is in the cards. So if the Blazers are up at half or anything of that nature, important to remember that spot. So Joe Walsh, birthday pick. The Charlotte Hornets and for Chang Kim, Charlotte Hornets. So those are the 3 spots from our guys. Let's roll on. I love it. My card's coming together. We go to 7 p.m. Eastern action, wine time. Cleveland Cavaliers 36-7, 15-5 on the road. The Philadelphia 76ers 15-27, 6-13 at home. We're at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Kong's Clips is on Cleveland tonight. So let's talk about this spot. It's tricky. it's tricky because the Cavaliers have the Rockets on deck. This first of a back-to-back. It's the first of a back-to-back with both teams. So there's a lot that's going to go into this breakdown. So let's get to work here. We'll start with the line history. We have this total at 228.5. It's minus 108 to the over. It's gone from 227 to 228.5. On the spread, you have Cleveland minus 10.5. They opened up at minus 10. It's not really a half point move because the minus 10.5 is minus 101. You can call it a quarter point move if you want. Now, if you go to a book that brought this line out the earliest, then you have a market move towards them. It depends how you judge these moves. The book where we used to play poker at brought this line out at 3:12 p.m. Now there's heavy limits at that time, and it moved to 10 after 21 minutes, and it moved to 10.5 after 30 more minutes, and then went back to 10 4 hours later. But it's at 10.5 right now. So again, it really does depend on how you're tracking the action and at what time. But 73% of the tickets are on the Cleveland Cavaliers and 60% of the cash. 86% of tickets and 87% cash on the over. I immediately wanted the Sixers. I tell you, like immediately, I was like, but of course, this is a tricky spot that I wanted to talk out. Cleveland 3-2 over the past 5, playing 18th fastest pace, 99.4 possessions a game, shooting 45.1 from the field and 34.8 from 3. How angry are they after that loss at Houston? This was the spot that Wine Time was on the Houston Rockets money line, and we were texting back and forth watching Darius Garland, who's shooting 87% from free throw line, go 1 of 3. That's just.
He missed 2 free throws. That was crazy. I couldn't believe that. Like the fact that they were even in that game, though, Jim. The Rockets. That was we hammered that spot. That was a clear-cut Rockets spot. They just there was some foolery at the end there, but. We got it done, but that's why we love it, man. We sweat this shit out.
Sweating sides, much easier than totals. Totals, for whatever reason, they just can get me. Philly, of course, in the throes of this real legitimate losing streak, it's ugly. They've lost 7 straight, and 6 of those losses they've given out 100. They've given up 115 plus points over their past 5. They're of course, 0-5, 27th fastest pace, 95.22 possessions a game. They're playing slowly, and they're also shooting poorly. But they're shooting the exact same that the Cavs are shooting, 45.6 from the field and 34.2 from 3, which is not very good. Cavaliers coming off having their 2-game winning streak snapped in that aforementioned 109-108 loss at Houston on Wednesday. There was a 19-0 run in the fourth quarter by Cleveland that just was as difficult to watch as anything you can imagine. And then Garland misses those free throws, and Mitchell still gets a 3-point shot at the end that he misses. Now Garland shot 26 in the game. Unfortunately, with these double-digit favorites, there's a chance that the favorite could be up 25 points going into the fourth, and they will rest everybody. Because you kind of think that Garland's going to bounce back here and single-handedly be a monster. If this was a closer game on the spread, I would think, God, you want to take Garland points and assists, don't you? Which I try not to bet. So Mobley, 3rd straight game that he missed. So we, expect him not in the lineup now. Why don't we take a look at that plan? Mobley out, LeVert game time decision. So it's pretty simple there. LeVert listed as questionable. He's missed 2 games. I would think the expectation would be for him to miss a 3rd. And then Embiid out, Drummond out, and Lowry out. So Yabusele has got to step up, and any team that has Paul George at the 4 is probably going to lose. This is the first of a back-to-back with travel for these Cleveland Cavaliers. They host the Rockets for that rematch on Saturday night. These games are so important to cap because they're going to help you cap tomorrow night's games that these teams are included in. Sixers coming off their 7th straight loss. Horrific. 144-109 at Denver on Tuesday. And it didn't affect me from doubling up on Denver against Sacramento Kings, but that was a fate of the Kings, not a bet on Denver. The Sixers have given up, as I said, so 144 points they gave up on Tuesday. Now, the Nuggets shot 61.2 from the field. It wasn't that. That wasn't the stat that jumped out at me. You got Yabusele and Paul George at the 5-4. The Nuggets out-rebounded the Sixers 51-25. I mean, it's horrific. And this is the first of a back-to-back with travel as well. The Sixers have to travel to Chicago. They play at the Bulls here. So the question immediately is, how bad will the Cavaliers beat up on the Sixers on the boards? And the one thing that jumps out at me is, if you have Dean Wade playing the 4, you're giving Paul George the best possible opportunity to also play the 4. Now the Nuggets weren't going to play someone like Dean Wade at the 4, and they dominated the board. So it's a lot to take in. Wine time, show us some clarity. Lead us to the cash. Cavs, Sixers.
Yeah, this is a game I kind of want to get involved in the more I look at it. I mean, I like that I'm getting double digits with the 76ers, as you mentioned it, looking at the market too. You said, what did this line open up at? Was this a 9.5, Jimmy, or was this a 10.5?
Well, it depends. So it opened up at 9 at 3 p.m. offshore. But, the book that I think is the sharpest, that's also a very cautious, opened it up at 10. That's why I said it's only been a quarter point move from that point. And then that line came out at 10:38 p.m.
Got it. Yeah, I would only lean towards the 76ers here. Looking at the player market right now too, man. Jimmy, what is it? Tyrese Maxey, over 20.5 points. He has the highest point prop total on the board here tonight. He's been going over it. He didn't get it last game. He had 28 points. My only worry, though, is that you mentioned it. Maybe the 76ers are down by, 15, 20 points going to the fourth quarter. They don't play him. And maybe the 76ers go out there with their scrubs and then maybe get a backdoor cover. I don't know. It's a very tough matchup, Jim, because you mentioned it when we talked about this on Wednesday. I said I'm taking the Rockets here, but when I break this game down with Cab and Dutch Boy tomorrow, I'm going to be on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I just don't know what the spread is going to be yet, but I'm going to guess it's going to be maybe 5.5, 6.5, maybe 7.5, maybe. I don't know, but whatever it is, I would definitely be on the Cavaliers tomorrow. I'm not going to take them tonight. I would only look to back the 76ers here. Getting double digits here, 10.5. I could see, people thinking, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to smash these guys up, coming off a loss, disappointing loss, a game where they almost came back and won, which was absolutely wild. That just shows you how good this Cleveland Cavaliers team is. And so they can beat these guys by 20 points. Who says they can't? But looking at it, I want the 76ers. If, you're going to give me a bet to take, I would definitely take the 76ers double digits here, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give it out officially. I'm looking at maybe some Tyrese Maxey props as well. But like I said, I don't know if he's going to be involved enough in the fourth quarter if they're down a lot of points. Philly just heading in the wrong direction right now. Can't get a win here. Maybe this is a get right spot for them and they can get like a cover. They lose this game by 8 to 9 points. You know what I mean? I don't see them winning this game by any means. Cleveland not losing 2 in a row, especially playing the Rockets tomorrow. But I'm going to stay away from this game, Jim. I have a lean towards the 76ers, though. If someone could give me a really good angle on the 76ers, I don't know how you really could in this spot, but that's what I would lean towards the 76ers.
I'm going to do more than lean. I'm going to bet the Philadelphia 76ers plus 10.5. I can't help but think that the Cavs are thinking about tomorrow. They want to beat the Rockets badly. They want to destroy the Rockets.
And they know they should have won last game, and the Rockets know that too. So they're coming for blood tomorrow. So I know I might have to get to the window here right with you, my guy.
This is not comfortable here. But we've talked a lot on this show, and I just cashed it in front of you guys with the Warriors plus 7.5. What happens when a team loses by 30 or more? And they just did. This team just got absolutely annihilated. And I look, I'm not pushing this here on anybody else. But I am going to be on the Philadelphia 76ers. Drewski says Cavs don't care about the Rockets. Yeah, they didn't until a couple of days ago, Drewski. And look, we don't have to agree on this, and we don't need to fight about it. But if you're going to tell me that those grown men who just watched the Rockets celebrate after completely taking over, that they don't care about it, well, I don't fucking believe it. Not for a goddamn second. Not for
especially them coming back to their house.
But 2 weeks ago, did Cleveland care about the Houston Rockets? No, of course not. Coin saying 125 points per game allowed last 5 for the Sixers. You don't think Nick Nurse is hammering that home? Look, nobody needs to join me on this. This is not a pretty spot. This is a lipstick on a pig. I'm putting lipstick on the mouth of the Philadelphia 76ers. Again, this is a market here just with the cash flow that I kind of like. Well, I really like. Come on, 27% ticket, 40% cash.
27-40s, like that's literally in the market. That's exactly where you want to be right there, man.
Drewski says Rockets better team right now. Better than who? Better than whom? Because you're not saying that they're better than the Cavs. We know that. So better than what? Better than Carter's basketball team that I watched. Everybody else on the floor crying. You know, they call Carter Vince for a reason. Okay, Drewski says the Rockets are a better team than the Cavs right now. You know, it's part of the fun, Drew. I'm not gonna say the things I'm thinking. Let's move on here. I am on the Sixers plus and I want the 10.5. Okay, we roll on to our final spot on the board. We have Stacks play today on the over 243 in Pelicanos, Memphis. LJ from H-Town, the Trill OG play of the day, Memphis first half -6.5. The Pelicanos 12-3, 24-16 on the road to the Memphis Grizzlies, 29-15, 17-5 at home. FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's get into the line history here for this one. This one's got the Pelicanos plus 11.
Yep. I got it too at plus 11 right now. I see.
So they opened up at 12 and they got to 12.5. This was 12.5 at 7 this morning. Then it gets to 12 and then 11.5 and then 10.5. This was at 10.5 when the show started. That's a pretty big move towards the Pelicans, who are feeling pretty good about themselves. We often talk about a team, a cellar-dwelling team, when there's times in the year and there's a big chunk of when they don't want to go to the arena, and that's not the case right now. And CJ McCollum knows that he's going to get moved at the deadline now because he's playing phenomenal basketball. So, but we've had buyback towards Memphis. We now have an 11. Let's get to the total here. It's now a 244. Nice job by Stacks getting the 243. This opened up at 241 at 10:40 p.m. It lasted there for about an hour and 25 minutes before it got to 242.5. Then it got to 243.5. Then 244.5. This one's climbing up to 245.5. Then we got the buyback, and that buyback came about 20 minutes before the show started. But still, it's a 3-point move to the over. We've also watched Wine Time cash overs on the highest total of the day. Let's get to the cash flow then for this one, our last game on the card. We might race. We're going to see if Jose's internet's fast enough. Jose live at BetMGM. Now he in Vegas. Anybody in Vegas got to hang out with Jose this weekend, and he's going to be jumping on to close the show out with us. Cash flow wise, 35% of the tickets, 37% of cash on the Pelicanos. Line moving towards them. You know, obviously that's appealing. Do I want to be on these two double-digit dogs in NBA? No, but I will if that's where it leads us. 55% of tickets and 63% cash on the over. Both teams 4-1 over their past 5. Both teams playing at a fast pace. It's not too much lower than the fastest pace in the NBA right now. They're both playing at just over 100. Well, the Pelicans are just over 102 possessions a game. Memphis at 102 flat. That's 5th and 6th respectively in the NBA over the last 5 games. But the Grizzlies shooting the ball beautifully, 50.6 from the field and 39.7 from 3. And the big notice was Luke Kennard going for 23 in that win over Charlotte on Wednesday at home. The Pelicans shooting 45.2 from the field and 37.3 from 3. So Pelicans coming off their 4th straight win, 123-119 at home over the Jazz on Monday. CJ goes for 45. It was the biggest comeback, the largest comeback in franchise history. They were down 25 points before rolling. They won 7 of 10. Zion came back in the win over the Jazz. He'd missed 34 of 44 games, and then he missed the win. He came back. He'd already been back, but then he missed the game over the Jazz with a non-COVID illness. When a guy like Zion Williamson, if he would tell me, if he would like, look, coach, I'm sick, I would slap him in the face. It'd be my right. I would just open and slap him in the face. Anybody else would be like, I'm sick. I'm like, oh man, keep your distance, get better. But Zion, for some reason, I would just open and slap him in the face. Ingram, BI's missed 20 straight. This is the first of a back-to-back with travel. We talked about they're playing at Charlotte tomorrow night. Memphis also comes in off a 4 straight victory, that beating Charlotte at home on Wednesday. Bane rolling. 6 straight games of 20 or more. He went for 24, 8 assists. Ja went for 16 and 13 assists. And this is the beginning of a home back-to-back. They host the Jazz on Saturday night. Take it away. Wine time. Trilogy play today, Memphis first half. Stacks play today, the over 243. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I have nothing on this game as of right now, Jim. Looking at this matchup here, though, CJ McCollum, I wonder where he's going to go at the deadline here coming up. Pelicans surprisingly won 4 straight here. Being double-digit dogs, though, like you said, though, if I'm on the 76ers, I don't want to be on both the double-digit dogs today. I do think one of them is going to get the cover today. I just want to be on the right side of one. Man, Pelicans look like they can cover the spread, though, with their starting 5 that they do have. I mean, if Murray and McCollum, if they can get off here, Trey Murphy, 21.6 points this season, impressive. Memphis, so as you mentioned, Desmond Bane rolling, he can get to the bucket. You got Ja, they got Edie and Jackson down low. It's a good team over there in Memphis. So this is a game I want nothing to do with, I think, though, Jim. I'm going to stay away from this game as of right now. Originally leaned towards the Pelicans getting double digits, and like you mentioned, I've been taking these overs for a while. I don't know if I'm going to get to the window on it. Everything last night when I looked at this, it opened up at 240.5. I saw 241.5. I wasn't available to it on my book. I ended up not moving on it. Woke up this morning to see like 245.5. Went to a 244. Seeing some 243s right now, if I'm not mistaken. Do I want this over? Yeah, because I think both teams can score. And I do think the Pelicans maybe can hang tight here in this first half. And they're able to stay within this game for all these starters to play the entire game. And there's a lot of points scored. Right now, my books give me a 244 minus 110 right now. I lean towards the over, Jim, just because that's kind of a trend that I've been taking this season. But if I do end up moving on it, maybe I wait and see if I can get a better number on it before game time. We'll see. But at the same time, if I can't get a better number on it, I don't know if I want to move on it. Very tough spot here, Jim. So I'm going to end up just staying away from this game.
The market would lead you to bet the Pelicans. The issue is, do you want the Pelicans feeling good about themselves off of 4 straight wins?
That's where it's tough.
I saw that earlier. That's a big thing. John missed, didn't go to shoot around. Thank you. That's important to talk about here. So John didn't show up at shoot around here.
Oh,
He's sick. So,
That's something to note. Maybe that's why the total's maybe dropping. I don't know. But the spread would drop too.
I wonder if we can even bet it at this book that's so cautious. I wonder because, if it's off the board, God, you know what? If Ja is out and this line moves, I'm going to want the Grizzlies. That would kind of flip things. Also, like if you were to get a plus 11 right now, Ja's out, the line moves towards the Pelicans, maybe then you go for the middle and the huge score. Yeah. But I can bet. So he must be in. He or playing. Sorry, because they wouldn't. Just. This book is so
maybe he's just getting his fluids while everyone's at a shoot around, making sure he's good for tonight's game. Grizzlies, Jim, remind me, are they on a back-to-back tonight?
Yes. So the Grizzlies host Utah tomorrow.
These are 2 very easily winnable games for the Grizzlies. Maybe he does sit, but with that being said, the line's not indicating that he's sitting quite yet. Maybe he's just getting his fluids. He's getting healthy for the game today, making sure he's hydrated, all that stuff, and he'll go out there for warm-ups and maybe see how he feels. So we probably won't know until right before a couple hours, maybe an hour before tip-off, if he's going to play or not. I assume he is from looking at it now, but in the NBA, you truly never know. So I'm just going to stay away from this game.
All right. We got to get into the race because Jose's been down in the casino for hours now, and which I love and respect so much, with no sleep. But his computer's about to die, so we got to get into the race. I don't want to bet the Pelicans just because I think, John might be out, no, I'll have a chance to mill or anything like that. I don't want the Pelicans off of 4 straight wins. That's the problem. I don't want them feeling good about themselves. And then the trilogy play today being Memphis first half. We know how much that's been cashing. Now, I tell you what, though, if Jaws ruled out and this moves too far, I'll move on the Grizzlies. But I think this is when I stay off here. I stay off. So let's review NBA action here. Wine time on Charlotte -5. I want to bet that. Probably should have bet that while the show's on. I'm on the Sixers plus 10.5. Well, I haven't bet that yet either. And I'm gonna bet Charlotte. I'm gonna bet the Sixers as soon as the show's over. And then I've stayed off of this spot in Memphis here. So I want to hear what Jose's taking to the window as well. What's your percent at now, Jose? How many?
2%. So we need to do this quickly.
All right, Wine Time. Thank you so much for all that you do for us, my man. I'm gonna pop Wine Time's X handle here in the chat. Wine Time, get that cash.
Yes, sir.
The board with Moneyline Dogs last time he was with us on Wednesday. We need more of that. Wine Time. Thank you for your time, my man. And I'll go over your college action again.
Yes,
before
sir. Yeah, enjoy it, guys. Good luck, guys, today. Go get that cash, boys.
There he is, Wine Time Sports. All right, we only have 2% here. We don't know. Is this going to move? It might not move smoothly.
Who knows? Let's race, Jimmy. Let's find out all together. Rod Z, Crystal Craig. And by the way, Jimmy, I'm in the horse racing booth right now watching Gulfstream right in front of my face. So this is a good time to be calling this race. Big O, Rod Z, nothing. Look at Helga in the mix. Nasty Nate at the top of the screen. Nunya in this here. We've got a lot of races in this race, Jimmy. Even Dutch Boy Fresh climbing from the bottom there. Jimmy, who's taking this home?
Sir Mackey Loves Pie making a huge move. Shout out to Sir Mackey Loves Pie gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership during the show. And he goes right to the lead. But NJ Striker involved as well. And Helga, Helga fell apart. There is Nut Flush Allen. Nut Flush trying to get to the wire. And there's Coin. Coin going to get there. Here comes Joey Harb. And Nasty Nate making a late move. Could this be the day, Nate? No is your answer. Sammy Comer going to try to get to the wire, but it is Jarek White, I believe. Yes. Wow, that was a tight
photo
race.
Right there.
Tight race. Justin McKelvey says, why doesn't he see his horse anymore? It's because they're dogs, Justin. No, I'm joking. No, you're. Let's find out. We'll find Justin.
Scroll 15th for Nasty Nate. Not too bad. Shout out to you, 20, Nasty Nate.
I go 20 seconds.
There we go. Man. Saturated.
It better show up, dude.
I'm almost certain it's here.
His name better show up, Jose.
There you go. 66.
66.
Well, since we're already down here, let's find out.
Yeah.
Helga, good Lord, Helga.
Yeah, she buckled. And Kenwood and Res Mob and Kong. Poor work. Jose, before your computer dies, what are you taking to the window?
I'll be back. I'll just join on my phone.
Okay, cool. Okay, he's gonna jump on his phone here. Yes, they do have outlets, but he probably didn't bring it there to the book. While he's coming back, let's review all action. I'm really excited about betting this action. I think it's good. I love the college basketball card, and I'm very interested in the NBA card. And yes, I do not want. I can understand why the Pelicans are appealing, but I do not want them after beating up on the Jazz or coming biggest franchise comeback in NBA history. Fuck that. Flyers first period. This is already bet. Flyers first period at plus 120. Wouldn't mind seeing where it's at right now. Stars -1. I'm very nervous about that Stars -1 spot. Did not expect to see this line move against me the way it did. Let's move over to NHL here. There we go.
Yeah, we're back. I have to fix the headphones real quick, but yes, we're back.
Nice. I look forward to hearing your action. I'm just going over everything here. Show me some buyback. Yes, we got buyback. Yes, okay, thank God. So this got down to -132. Oh, that what I told you, the 14-cent move. We've had buyback. We're back at -140. That makes me feel much better about Dallas. And then the Jets now. We got buyback from the Jets too. So that got down to -210 at 11:35. Now it's back 215. So I feel great about my NHL action. I feel very, very, very good. Still no word confirming the Pete Alonso deal. God, that just made my whole.
You got excited there. I didn't realize that's all it took to get you back in. But I haven't heard.
Sean Ponder and Pete Alonso. How much fun would that be?
It would be better than what you have now.
Okay,
definitely would be. I hope it happens for you.
BJ even gave us the amount of money.
This would hurt. This one would hurt.
This one would hurt if BJ sets me up like this now. I know he would never do this on purpose, but it would hurt. Happy birthday to Joe Walsh. Thank you for being a Pub Sports Radio member. Thank you for rocking with us on your birthday. Let's get into so I have Jets -1, Dallas -1, Philly first period. Feel very comfortable there. If the Utah takes a lead, I'll bet the Jets immediately. If Chicago takes a lead, I'll be interested in betting Tampa. I do want to know who's starting in goal. Vegas Stars, there'll be no live betting. And then the Flyers Islanders, you know what? I wouldn't want to bet the Islanders live, even though they'll have a rest advantage if the Flyers have cashed me that first period. I don't find that appealing. In college basketball here, play today from Ron Crawford, Villanova. I'm very interested in the under in Wagner, Mercyhurst. Very interested in Chicago State. Going to try so hard not to double down on those two spots. Lemoyne, Northern Kentucky for me. And then I'm going to roll with St. Francis and Spoondog. CMAC on the under 145.5 in Kent State, Ohio. Spoondog on Kent State. I may get to Kent State. I'm not sure. Justin McKelvey on the over in the Michigan-Purdue game. We stayed off St. Bonaventure, VCU. I'm going to be on Iowa with the boys. I'm going to be on the Huskies, but, you know, Wine Time's balls that are splashing toilet water, mine aren't even close. Mine don't even come close. I'm going to take the points.
Understandable.
I will take the points on that one. But I'm going to rock with Wine Time on Charlotte Hornets or Bobcats. What ass clown named them the Bobcats? Sixers plus 10.5.
Was that not Jordan?
Jordan would never name them the Bobcats. LJ from H-On Trilogy play today. Memphis first half -6.5. Stacks play today number 1. Grizzlies over 243. I told you how bad I wanted Vancouver's basketball team name. Right? I told you about that. All that. I've told
like the Yetis.
No,
Whatever
the Rainmakers. Vancouver Rainmakers get that because it rains nonstop. Now global warming's changing all that shit, but get that raindrop through the hoop, man.
Sure. Maybe that should be. You're gonna start like a travel basketball team in the future with old Vince, and then that'll be your team name for the team.
Hey, it shouldn't just be about Vince. Ella played great yesterday, flying. I didn't realize how fast she is. She can absolutely fly. She's alert defensively. She's a great team player. I'm very, very proud of her.
Good, love that. And again, shout out to Carter for not crying.
Oh God, it's such a debacle out there. I mean, we're just looking at these. I would not for a second would I sit back and let my child sob on the floor. And also when they play like red light, green light, and then if you move, you go back to the front. And so the coach is like, "Oh, you moved," and then the kid sobbing.
Of course,
oh
you wouldn't know this, but that's also from Squid Games. You wouldn't know.
They play red light, green light, and sob.
No, they die actually. Yeah, but that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. But don't worry about that. Yeah, Jimmy, I also put in some horse action while I'm here that I should alert you of. I obviously took Martin Drexler's horses today. He has 2 horses at Gulfstream. The next race 5 in 23 minutes, and the last race in race 10. So that is the 5 and the 10 actually in both races, which is funny enough. The 5 in race 5 is 10-1. We'll see how that moves. And then the 10 in race 10 was 5-2.
What is your sleep situation? How much sleep did you get last night?
I went to bed pretty early. I slept on the flight, so we're feeling good about ourselves. Now, ask me that question at 9 p.m., I'm gonna die, but
that's fine. I go to sleep unless I'm playing poker. I try to go to sleep at decent times now in Vegas so I can be up for horse racing in the morning. I have
a tea time with Connor at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Tea time at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm at my drunkest in Vegas at 5 p.m. That's when I'm at my most belligerent.
Well, as you know, probably Vegas has changed. They don't be giving out these drink tickets. I have to, go out back and do something to somebody to get a drink ticket around here. But I haven't had a sip.
That was happening because I haven't been, God, man, because of the kids, man. But when I was last at Caesars, you had to make $300 sports bet for a drink ticket, or bet $5 on a horse race.
Well, I know what I'd pick.
Oh man, I had just 50 drink tickets in front of me, and everyone knew it was.
Well, yeah, I took those horses, and I have a bunch of other bets.
Well, and did you ask for one after the? No, I don't know how BetMGM does it, but you should ask for one after every horse bet. But look into it. Find
I will. I bet them on the kiosk because I'm afraid of human contact. But yeah, I will.
I also have so much booze. I'm just such a booze clown in those spots. I also roll in there with a Twixer in my backpack. You know.
Yeah, no, Flusher's giving me the recipes. Going to the ABC store. Apparently, all these places have plastic cups. So yeah, no, he gave me the strategy here. We're gonna roll with it, hopefully.
Yeah, you can't spend any money on booze. Gotta go all in the or food. California sandwiches, the cheapest shit possible. Just get it in your stomach.
You know what's nice about me, Jimmy, and what Jeff also hates about me is on these trips, I just for whatever reason I just don't eat. I don't eat ever. Like I just whatever anxiety I have just doesn't make me hungry, and I just never eat.
But then you can't drink.
Well, I don't really drink, so there's the thing. I have my bag of goodie bags.
When does everybody get into town?
I have no fucking idea, honestly. I don't know half the people that are coming. Honestly, I
how
only
many
know
are
two
coming?
dudes,
How many
like 8 guys.
Wow, is it for anything? Is there a reason why you guys are meeting?
No, they're all virgins of Vegas, and they got this free room, so they're like, let's go do Vegas, and I was like, all right, well, it's a cheap flight from San Antonio, so.
If they're going on their first time, somebody's gonna ruin their life, which is gonna be really fun for you guys.
I look forward to that.
My friend was telling me this story that always stuck with me. They get it was a bachelor party. This guy owned a comedy club. It's a bachelor party. They get their big suite for everybody, but they also get a cheap hotel room for suitcases, right?
Of course.
So one of the buddies, first time in Vegas, the whores come up to the room, and he like finagles a couple of them to go down to the suitcase room with him. So he goes suitcase room. They're all looking for this guy, and they're like, "Oh, he must be in suitcase." They're banging on the door, and he's like, they can hear the moaning and the laughing and all this stuff, whatever. So that guy, of course, married with kids. So then, wakes up at 5 a.m. 4 a.m. He's like, "What have I done?" So he just goes right to the airport and goes home. He's but then this guy, he can't go actually home because his wife's gonna be like, "What the hell? You were gone for?" So he rents a hotel. They're back in Toronto and just spends 48 hours hating himself.
That's good. That's good. I look forward to that. I expected all of his stuff to be stolen, but that's even better. That's even better.
No, he went back. He flew home. So he was only in Vegas for like 15 hours. Ruins his life.
Of course. No,
but Jay Vegas saying, "Eat something, please." Yeah, that is important.
Yeah,
and he also said, "Head downtown to Fremont Street, say hi to Derek Stevens."
Who's that? Okay, well, I guess I will, Jay. By the way, did we have a bartender that was that watches the shows?
Yeah.
I don't remember now who that was or what bar that was, but I'd love to come down there as well. Shout out to, obviously, Jimmy, my one goal here is for someone to notice me amongst all my friends so I can feel like a badass. And then the other person that notices me will start making fun of me, and then it'll get back to status quo.
I've got something for you guys. This is what I guarantee. One of your friends will be robbed by a street hooker and won't know until about 45 minutes, half an hour later. It's going to be great. It's going to be.
I look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Remember, when those street hookers, they come up and start grabbing on you, they're trying to rob you.
Okay. See, I don't have experience with any of these women.
Yes, yeah. Only tell the friends that you care about. If you don't like somebody, make sure he doesn't know.
Okay.
I have friends, and I won't say it here on camera, that who have been robbed by street hookers.
I know who we're talking about. If I had to pick one person, I know who we're talking about.
It was $800 roll. It was $800 roll, ganked.
That's how that happens, That's how that happens. I respect all of that.
Yeah. JRTG said never been to Vegas, not sure it's for me.
Fairly poor, don't drink alcohol, I'm awkward. Sounds like me.
That's perfect. It's perfect.
That sounds like me, Jared.
Oh, that's perfect.
No, it's a good time, Jared. It's only good for like 2-3 days. Then you gotta get the fuck out of here.
I don't agree. I could be there for the rest of my life. Every second.
I know. Yeah, that's facts for you. Do you want these basketball bets here and such?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, so God damn it. I don't want to tell you this because this is going to add to my lore of just Self-inflicted mistakes. Self-inflicted mistakes. I go to the bathroom during the show. Whatever. I come back. I start patting my pockets to make sure I have everything. Immediately, I lose a ticket. Immediately lose my first bet that I place here. So just fucking classic. Just fucking classic that I do that. So I had to
And you-
rebet it again. So I'm
You
already
never
down.
found it?
No, I didn't find it. I fucking walked around this place like an asshole looking around. Of course, I didn't find it. So chalk one up. There's already an L for me right now, but I'm going to take that as a donation to the gambling gods to get me straight here today. The bet that I had to rebet indeed was Michigan plus 3.5 here. I bet that here, and I bet that with my local, so we're very invested there. Northern Kentucky, my favorite play of the day, plus 1.5. I'm all over that with you guys here as well. And I made a lot of bets in my local here as well, since I'm up so much with them. So Chicago State, I'm on there plus 9 with
We've
you.
lost your camera. Now, is this nice to hear?
I need to look at the bets. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Kent State -1, Michigan Purdue over in the first half, 72.5, and the Iowa State spot, or excuse me, Iowa spot -3.5. Shout out to you, Wine Time.
I love it. I want to go make not Iowa State, Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yes, Iowa Hawkeyes. Yeah, -3.5.
I cannot believe that you lost the ticket, man. You know, it's on. It's got to be on your person somewhere. You'll find it when.
I hope I do, because I fucking patted myself down like a fucking police officer. Couldn't find it. I have this bag of goodies I have with me. Not in there. I hope it cashes and I find it later. That'd be awesome. It'd be a great way to start the day.
You could have kept that story to yourself too.
I could have, but I had to add to my lore of misfortune. I pay like $100 to get into free racetracks, and I do the whole thing.
This is very very snips of you, but Jose, we're going to be cheering for you. We are going to be cheering for you. Please keep us abreast, keep us a titty of what's going on in Vegas if you can with social media.
Yes, I'll let you guys know now, Jimmy. You'd hate this. Circa Sunday, we're going up to the rooftop place, and all the Vegas virgins obviously rented the cabana and shit. So I'm going to be in a cabana on the Circa rooftop on Sunday, and I'm going to be heavily invested in the Chiefs. By the way, the Chiefs -0.5 pick 'em here at the old MGM here. Oh, that's first half. Just kidding. But
how much did it cost you, the cabana?
I don't know. I have to Venmo someone $125, and it's between 8 dudes. So I guess we can do the math. I'm not a math guy. So yeah, it's fucked. It's fucked here.
And it's going to be freezing.
Yeah, it's going to be 50 degrees, but the pool is going to be heated. And like Lynn says, those pepperoni nipples are going to be out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My tits, everyone knows, not as bulbous, but
not as
pepperoni nipples are there.
Yeah, that's just fucking hideous, man.
Yeah. At least we're not talking about what we talked about yesterday.
I can't even remember yesterday.
It was meat curtains. We were talking about
thank you guys so much for rocking with us here on Pub Sports Radio. We'll be cheering for Jose in Vegas as we speak. If you're in Vegas, rock with 7 a.m. You're golfing at 7 a.m. tomorrow?
7 a.m. with Conor Mac tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna die. Like I said, I told my friends that I know, the other guys, they can fuck off. But I told them I am not gonna go hard tonight because I'm going to make this tea time. I'm gonna pray to God that I don't embarrass myself in front of Conor tomorrow.
God, you got to film a lot of this stuff, man. I want to know a lot about what's going on here. Shout out to everybody in the chat: Spooner, Kong, Justin McKelvey, Jay Vegas, Kelly McInnes, Jared TG, Lim Belvedere, MMA Locker Room. I can't believe you lost the ticket. I can't believe.
Yeah, immediately. Like I was baffled. I was like, that's the only thing I fucking care about, and I lose the ticket. It's just ridiculous. It's just
fire. Coin, Jared TG, big happy birthday to Joe Walsh. Happy birthday, Fernando Mendoza, Robert McCormick, Pipe Layer, Rick J. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Sorry. Thank you guys for watching the show. We can't do it without you. We need your support, so thank you so much. Action Jackson, Wine Time Saturated, Wager Detective, Go out there and get that cash. I got bets to make. Sean Pulliam, Jermaine, thank you guys so much. Saturday says, who goes and punch at 7 a.m.? That's wild. Old E, thank you guys. Jose, we wish you all of the glory possible here. Go get that cash. Focus solely on that. And your tea time tomorrow at 7 a.m.
And maybe I can get some food at some point. Yeah, that'd be nice as well.
Do it though. It's easier to have fun that way when you're not starving. But if you're not a booze bag.
By the way, I obviously can't hit the button, so you have to hit the button.
Oh, I will do that with pleasure. On behalf of all of us here at Pub Sports Radio, thank you so much, Jose. You want to lead us into the future, my friend?
Of course, yeah. It's kind of interesting because I forgot where I was for a hot second. I'm looking around. I'm like, oh my God, there's people can listen to me and hear me saying all these absurd things that I'm saying. So, whatever. First law of Vegas, everyone, remember, find your tickets and keep them in your pockets. Keep them in your pockets. Keep them in your wallet, because I just learned that lesson. And by the way, I obviously was picked up by a Venezuelan man from the airport. So the good vibes started there. He made me speak Spanish to him, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go here, everyone. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Piker in there as well. Nice to see you, Piker. So those bookmakers.
I don't think Jose realizes the way that sounded, but pick up, you mean in a car, I guess?
No, he no, you know what I mean, Jimmy. You know what I mean. Come on. What stays in Vegas? What happened to
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H, I stack green like Boston. Shout out to Nasty Nate from down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Dabby Cab. Swing by Dallas with them Cowboy fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Profit. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Conor